Do it. Did you know that if you take a full-grown man's intestines out and stretch them end to end, you'll go to jail?
You'll go to jail for sure. For sure. Absolutely.
All right, we're live.
Gang, what's going on, everybody? You already know what it does. Fuck yeah, I'm looking good, you know. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers, fuck it, everybody, if you got them.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Fucking smoke them if you got them. I'm about to roll up a fat blunt. But thanks for tuning in. I'm Styles the Prophet, baby.
Yeah, you are.
Show.
And I'm Jonesy.
I'm BullyZone.
This is the 4G Audio Podcast. Tonight we got BullyZone fucking ganging. Last minute fucking guest. Thanks for coming through, man.
Yeah,
Substitute.
Fuck yeah, man.
Gotta be ready for
Thanks,
anything.
man.
Things are cool, man. Like, just like anybody else, man. Life's been kind of on pause.
Yeah.
As for tattoo work, kind of been like slowed right down, but at least I've managed to like write and finish a few songs, which is fucking hashtag goals. You know what I mean? So that's an accomplishment in itself. Gaining some weight and just kind of smoking a lot of weed, man. That's been my fucking lockdown.
Gaining weight on purpose, or?
No, bro. No, bro. Putting big ass dents in my couch and I've been making puppies, bro. Fucking the dog, man.
That's great.
I saw you guys doing that thing last week, writing the song on live and shit.
Yeah, so yo, I've been going live a lot this month just for the fuck of it. Again, because I'm bored and like just trying to keep in contact with a few people and keep in touch with the audience.
Yeah.
So I've been going live a lot and like promoting the fact that I got nominated for that award. And also Yardi has been going live midnight just to kind of like keep people company, you know, throughout the fucking tough times. So yeah, we just decided we had like a producer who tapped into the show on Yardi's show, and then we just started kind of like shooting the shit, exchanged information. The producer ended up running me a few beats. There were actually some dope beats, and then I came up with the idea to try to like write a song live with the audience, or the viewers, I should say, live on the live. It was a little, it worked out. It was kind of fun. It was a little hectic. I didn't really know how to go about it or what to do. I ended up just kind of playing dice and winning some money and got Yardi to scribble everything down.
Nice.
But we kind of just like, we got people to send in some bars, and then like I kind of look at them and see which ones kind of made sense. We'd screenshot it. He'd scribble them down, and then he's gonna bring me the notepad. When he comes to Ottawa, he should be coming anytime, like in the next week or whatever, because we have some projects to work on. But once he brings that notepad, I'm gonna take a peek at it. Plus, he screenshotted a bunch of the conversations and whatnot and the bars. So I'm just gonna like try to build a song out of what people submitted, and then I'll release it. And when I release it, I'm gonna like everybody who took part and everybody who submitted, I'm gonna like put their like IG handle in the bio and shit. And that's pretty much that.
Like writing credits.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. It just came out of nowhere, and it's something to do. And it was actually crazy. Like I had no idea how to go about it. Like I had a pen and a pad ready. That was about it. I had Nico Poster Boy stop by to like, you know, just to be more live and more fun and have a little dice game on the live, and it was throw some bars our way too. But literally, man, within the first like 10-15 minutes, once we put the beat on and we had like the viewers kind of just sending in their bars, like we had enough to write the song in the first little half. Like we broke it up into segments. Like I thought people might be a little bit bored, or at the same time maybe like need to hear the beat a little bit. So I started playing dice. But when I came back, we had a little bit, like we got up to like 20-30 viewers or some shit that were like throwing us ideas. And then when we came back, there was maybe like half of that. And then when I asked Yardi like what he had, like he pulled up the notepad and he had like 2 or 3 pages already written down. So I was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of makes it. It's kind of an interesting thing, right? Because I think I've seen like the Kid Leroy Like he does like making songs live and shit too, and I think I've seen him do something similar, like where he gets whoever's watching on his live stream to just throw out words and shit, and like he'll add them to his verses or like give him lines and shit or whatever.
I had
Man.
sorry.
I'm just thinking
Go
like it's kind of interesting, right? Because like the whole concept of having someone write your shit for you, like in hip hop, has been looked down upon for like a long time. But then like
This is different. This is having
it is different, right? It's still
it's
other
having people write
writing
it
for
with
you.
you.
Right,
It's
right.
with you.
But like they're giving you the ideas, they're giving you like the thoughts, and then you're just like working it out or whatever. But yeah, I guess it is a different kind of the same thing. I just find it interesting how one is like seriously looked down upon, and then there's that other side of it where
I think like the only there's only certain like avenues in the hip hop where that would actually be looked down upon. I feel like if you're in a battle rap kind of scene and you're having somebody else write your rhymes, or if you're like claiming to be like the hardest lyricist or MC, but you have other people writing your rhymes. But for the most part, man, a lot of people write other people's music. You know what I mean? Like
for sure, yeah,
like
it's common.
you look at the credits in the songs, it's not even the guy. Like he didn't even write the song. So there's a lot of artists that spit songs that are not theirs. It's just part of the business, you know.
Shoot. I think generally that happens more in pop music than it does. Well, maybe like
It happens a
historically.
lot of hip hop, man. It happens a lot of hip hop, man.
Yeah, man, it happens everywhere, man. Like even too, there's like fuck the song, I think it's Baby or something like that from Justin Bieber. Was written by Ed Sheeran, and he gave it to Justin Bieber because he felt like it was more Justin Bieber's song.
Yo, what was that track? Belly wrote fucking something for Beyonce. Like I can't remember what the name of the track. Yeah, Belly wrote one of Beyonce's they say in the last 5 years, one of her smash hits, he wrote it.
Yeah, see, and like, yeah, I think it is a big thing because like I remember seeing a thing. It was like, I forget what it was called, but it was one of the segments they have on like, Vice, Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was one of the things they had, like Noisy or something like that, whatever. But what they'd do is they'd go to like different cities and they'd hang out with fucking different artists and shit. And they were hanging out with it's either fucking Lady Gaga or what's the other girl? Either way, he's hanging out with one of those chicks. It's either Lady Gaga or someone like her. But anyways, they're hanging out and it shows them in the studio. They're all sitting around a fucking big piano. And the one person's playing the piano, whether it's her, I don't know. But then, so there's like 4 other people other than her. And it points them all out. And there's like her, there's a lyricist, there's a fucking, like a writer, and there's a musician and like all this shit. So everyone's there to like collab on this song. And then she's the one, like the face that like does it, you know?
Bro, you ever see like Drake in the studio? This guy's got like 30 mans around him, bro. Like those guys are all putting it. Those guys all got their input, man. Like it's like his writing team, you know. Like it happens a lot, man.
I definitely want a lyricist to help because like fucking, they'd help you word shit properly.
For sure.
Because like I find like sometimes people like will say some of the same words or like the same references type thing through their song, but if they had someone showing them like, hey man, if you just said this instead of this or like this, so you're not saying that word all the time and shit.
I've had artists come in to the studio that I was like, that they were just recording, and like me, I'm always throwing my 2 cents, and I'll ask first. Like I always ask, do you mind if I give you some pointers? And for the most part, like fucking 10 times out of 10, everybody's like, yeah, please do. So fucking there's definitely been times where I was like, yo, try saying this like this, or try saying this like this, or use this word instead, and it actually like helps the song along the way. So I do see how it could be beneficial. When you're really doing it, man, you gotta have a whole team behind you. Like you have to, you have to have the people there to make sure everything's coming out correct. Yo, for example, as well, I just did a song with Dirty Laundry. And I could tell that this was like I really enjoyed him. He's a very high energy guy. I enjoy his music. I think he's super sick, but I think he's very kind of like he just needs the guidance or direction. And I believe like he's got the energy and the drive, and he's like kind of like the leader of a little circle, if you will. But he's already reached the top. You know what I mean? And in his circle, he's the top dog. So nobody's really telling him how to go about doing things or how to improve. So when he came to my studio the other day, we go to lay down a track, and his way of recording, man, he normally records one take, like including the hook, including the ad libs, one time, like.
Ad libs too.
So
Bro,
that's,
spitting it in the one take. He's spitting the hook, not stopping, not building the hook, not putting any bulk to it or nothing. Then he continues right through the hook into his verse, and every little pause wherever he has a chance, he'll spit an ad lib as he's going. Then when it's hook time again, instead of just copy paste or whatever the fuck engineers do, move it from one place to the other, he literally re-sings it again and then says his verse, and he goes all one shot. Well, I'd never seen that. I was like, what the fuck? And then when I listened to his last music, I was like, fuck, it makes sense. Now I can totally hear that that's what he did. So I really believe, like, I think I gave him the formula, man. Like, so he spit his verse, he came out, and I was listening to it. And this is only the second time I meet him. The first time I met him was for the City collab. And we've only maybe talked about 10 times, you know? Like, total, over the last fucking 5 years, I probably spoke very briefly to this guy 10 times, you know? So I don't know him. I don't know how he does his thing or whatever. But anyways, I was like, I come out and he was happy with what it was, you know. And I'm listening, and I'm like, dog, like, so I can't even understand some words you're saying, like this, that, whatever. So I'm like, yo, I want to give you my formula. So I asked him to go in the booth, and then I asked him to say just the hook, and I told him to say it as clear as he could, because he has a very raspy voice and he likes to like drag it out at the end, which is cool. It sounds good. He has a good sound. But anyways, I was like, yo, brother, go in the booth, say it as clear as possible, and we're going to do layers. He did that layer, came out. Then I was like, okay, now you're going to go do a layer under that layer where you're kind of more whiny and twangy with your voice. He did that. Then I'm like, okay, jump in there. You're going to do keywords. He did that. Then I'm like, go do ad-libs. He did that. Then I'm like, do ad-libs again. When he came out and he heard himself, he was amazed. He's like, whoa, I've never sounded so good, blah, blah, blah. He was amazed. He was amazed. And I was like, bro, that's how you got to do it, you know. And like, he was just so happy that I taught him something.
Yeah, I think that's funny too, because like I've like dealing with other like artists, like I've dealt with that too, like people coming in and just trying to do like their entire thing in one go, and like when like once you get to that, like you said, that's kind of like a formula, right? You do all your you piece it together, right? You build it instead of just like throwing it all out at once. Yeah, I think that just comes with like technique, because I learned that like I used to try to do the same thing when I first started recording, just like learning my shit and then just spitting it all at once. And then
I never seen that before.
Yeah, and it was only once I went to school, or like even slightly before that, once I'd gotten a little bit more experience like writing and recording myself, that I'm like, oh, like I gotta layer this shit, and like I started watching other people and how they do it. I'm like, you know, that just makes sense. You can almost hear it, and like if you listen to like radio ready songs, like you can hear the fact that they've done multiple layers, they've done like harmonies, like you said, they've spit like their main verse, and then they've done one at like a lower pitch or a higher pitch or whatever. They've harmonized it a little bit, and then they throw their ad libs and their main rhyme, like their punch words that they really want to emphasize. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you said, it's like a formula.
Yo,
it just comes with experience.
The crazy thing though to say is like you, as you said, like you were educated and you learned about it along the way. Me, I always knew what I wanted my music to sound like, but I noticed that like every engineer I was working with, I could never exactly, like I was making okay music, and now when I listen to my old shit, I'm like, holy fuck, that's garbage. Like not the lyrics, but the sound quality, you know. Like I'm like, what the fuck were they thinking? But I didn't know better than either for what to ask for. But I always knew the sound that I wanted to hear without knowing the formula until I just developed my own formula, and now I know my sound. You know what I mean? So I never nobody showed me the formula. Nobody taught me shit. When I went into the booth, I just kind of started doing my thing, and I noticed, okay, I could probably sound a little better next time. And then I realized what my formula was, and now I stick with it.
Right. I think that makes a difference too when you've got the ability, like, because I have that here, right? Like I have the ability to just sit in front of, like I have a studio here, so I've got the mics, I've got the recording equipment, like I can do everything right here. So like with experience, like you do develop your own sound and your own way of doing things instead of relying on someone else to be able to put that together for you. And I think like someone like DL, like I know he has like recording stuff. I don't know if he does it on his own or not.
Yeah, usually they do. Yeah,
it just seems like with that experience, and if some, like you said, someone to point you in the right direction, you know, you can hone that?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna help him out, man. I'm gonna there's not too many people. Like everybody's kind of doing their own thing in the city, whatever. And there's a few people that I know like kind of really do appreciate my input. So like, and he's one of them. So I definitely think I'm gonna work a lot with him more in the future, because I do kind of see something there with him, man. He's still like in the struggle, you know what I mean? And the audience likes the struggle, you know what I mean?
True.
They don't
He's
give a fuck.
passionate too, man.
You know what I mean? If you made it,
For
you made
sure.
it. They're cool with you. Okay, you made it. But they like a fucked up story. You know what I mean? They like to see the struggle. They like to see the fucking growth. And I think he's perfect for it. And he can also still relate to a younger audience. Like,
Yeah.
like
I've known him for a
it's
while.
funny
Like, I
too,
grew up with
'cause-
him in high school, man. I've known him for a long time.
okay.
So like, I know
It's
like
funny too though,
that
'cause-
struggle that you're talking about. Like,
Yeah,
he
man.
has been through some shit for sure. Like, he's lived that
Yeah.
life.
Oh, you could tell. You could tell in his voice, bro. You could tell in his face. You know. I think I could market that guy, man. If he gets smart enough to make the move and want to work with me, I would work with it for sure.
Let's make it happen.
The thing is he has his own little camp, man. He's got a bunch of little guys around him, and I don't mean to say little by like talking shit about anybody. That's how I talk. But he has this group of people that are around him that he's making music with and all this shit, and you could tell that like their wins and losses really affect him, or their work ethic and stuff. Like when he comes and talks, like you said, you know him. I don't know how well you know him, but he's very hard to even keep on track in a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of like goes all over. Like, you ask him one question that could be a simple yes or no answer, and he'll dance around it and tell you all the problems that his friends are having, the shit that's going on at their studio, and how this guy didn't make it to the video on time, and this guy. And I literally just looked him in the face. I say, yo, dog, maybe, and like, I don't mean to like fucking knock anybody. I don't really know these guys, but I said it. I say, yo, bro, all these, and he'll name them by name, and I don't even know these guys. So I literally told him, I said, yo, bro, everybody you're naming to me, I never heard of them, but I heard of you. So how about you just focus on you, man? Because, and then once you get to that level when you can help these guys, when you're actually really able to help them, try to help them.
Right.
And if at that point you can't get them there, or they're not trying to make that move, then you know that they're not really serious.
That's passionate. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. And the one thing too is fucking, we always talk about this too, is like, you gotta help other people at the same time, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you like can't just be out for yourself. I think we talked to, or I sent you that video,
It's like, what can you bring to the table, right? Like,
remember I sent you the video with where they're talking about, but there's one dude on one side of the street, he's got 100 guns.
Yo, but
There's
I
fucking
do know exactly
100 guys on the other side of the street,
but I
and
think
everyone has a gun.
Yeah, everyone has a gun. See what I'm saying? In the quote that you sent me, I got the play, but I think he worded it wrong, because he said, would you rather be one man with 100 guns or 100 men with 100 guns? But I think the real saying is, would you rather be one man with 100 guns or 100 men with one gun? You know what I mean? And you'd rather be.
Yeah, well, that's what he meant, was like the one side had 100 guns. Both sides had 100 guns, but one had 100 people and one had one person.
Exactly.
And like, he, even a little bit before that, like a little bit of what he says too is like kind of the same thing, is like if you go on your own and you're like, I'm the shit and I'm the one and I'm the only one, and like you kind of like, one second. Thanks, man. Yeah. You kind of like
special delivery.
Like burn some bridges and shit like that, and like whatever, because you think you're number one and you're the best and fuck everyone else and you don't need to help anyone, then you're gonna fizzle out. You're gonna rise to the top if that, and you're gonna fizzle out. But if you have fucking all these connections and you keep all those friends and you help everybody and fucking that's helping you and like whatever and so on, like that's, I'm just paraphrasing, but that's kind of what he was talking about in the beginning of that video.
Sure.
And like, so in the end, like what he was talking about was longevity, right? You get a bunch of people on your team, like not physically like on your team, but like on your side, and help them help you, and everyone helps each other, then you're more likely to fucking last longer than some dude that's like, fucking, I'm doing myself, I'm the best, like fuck everyone else and burn all these bridges and shit.
Yeah. There's a few ways you could look at it, bro. It depends what you want out of it. You know what I mean? If you're trying to make a stink or make a make a mark, you know, you could come out being that rude asshole that just thinks he's the best and start taking shots at everybody else. And you might get your little clout, your fame, but again, it won't be longevity, you know. But it depends. Like, what are you in it for, man? Are you in it for you? Do you want that quick buck, or you want it for longevity? It really depends. And then if you really start to break it down into a business idea of it, are you in it for the business, or are you in it for the fame? And me, I'm more of a businessman, so like I like working with other people. I like building other people. I like building a project. Like, I like this part of it. So the more people I work with, the more my name gets spread out too. Whether it be from the actual music I make or just the impact on the music scene that I make, you know. So I'm trying to make an impact on the scene, like, for a long time, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You want
No doubt.
you want those billions, not those millions.
Yeah.
Cause I'm getting old too, you know what I mean. So I only got a few years left of this shit in me too, you know. I'm not gonna be a fucking 55-year-old rapper, you know.
Come on now.
Bro, I'm touching 40, bro. I started rapping in my mid 30s, you know, like.
Yeah.
Look how old
And
fucking
you're
Dr.
in.
Dre is.
What's that?
Look at Dr. Dre. Look at
But yeah,
fucking
but they
MF
changed.
Doom.
Of course. But these
Yeah.
guys are really doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not making a living off of that. You know. Well, that's it. I'm not making a living like they are. You know what I mean?
Not the same.
No, yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, that's why I do it. I changed it up too, right? Like, I know I wasn't gonna make big bank off of rap music, but I could definitely make big bank off of fucking running a label and fucking with other artists and making sure that they have everything they need to get where they want to go.
Promotion and networking.
Yeah, for sure. You might like exactly. It's like, you know, you don't make the name for yourself, but by building your own brand, you help give someone else a name, and that just helps boost your name, and then you could probably help someone else, and then it's just word of mouth at that point.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a long run, you know what I mean?
Damn right.
Hey,
Faces
man.
Magazine this year. It's a good step forward.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I just want to say too,
that's
congratulations, man. Like,
Yeah,
fucking,
man.
even just being nominated is a fucking thing, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool,
absolutely.
man. I don't even know who nominated me yet, still. So
Oh,
still
yeah,
a
yeah.
secret. But that's fucking cool, man. Yeah, and I didn't even know about it, man, which is weird. Like, they should have sent me some fucking email or something.
Hey, Rick, what up, Rick?
Puffing the blunt.
Nice.
They keep
But
talking.
yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't even
man.
know about it, man. Fucking next year, I'm just gonna nominate myself for every fucking category.
Yeah, really. You'd think they'd
Yeah, go
they
for
have
it.
someone that gets like that runs that shit that would like inform you of the fact that you've been nominated for something.
So somebody sent me a DM, but it was about a week later, and just asking for my email address, and then that's when I started looking into it. But it was literally maybe like 2 or 3 days after, like, a buddy of mine was like I just had like some friend was just like, "Hey man, I've been voting for you," and I'm like, "Cool, where, what?" And then he's like about this thing, you know, and then I didn't even care. Like, when I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, sick, whatever, fuck, what is this?" You know, I didn't even look into it. And then, like, I don't know, maybe a day or two after I started looking into it, I was like, "Oh, this thing would actually kind of be cool to win, man." So then I started like promoting it a little more.
I'm not gonna front, man. I remember, like, is it like quite a few years ago, I guess now. My buddies was talking about Faces Magazine, and it was like his buddy got nominated for something, but it wasn't even music. It was like fucking just something around the city, because they do a lot of fucking awards. It's not just music and shit.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, what the fuck's Faces Magazine? He's like, oh, it's from like around here and shit. I'm like, oh, cool, man. So then, like, after we had started the podcast, I'm like, you know what, man? I'm like, fuck. I'm like, maybe we fucking end up in Face Magazine, because, like, you know, podcasts are a thing now. So maybe, like, there'll be like a podcast of the year and shit. So I'm like, yeah, let's try and get in Faces Magazine, you know? And then I see like a bunch of people. I look at the podcast. I'm like, man, I see a bunch of people in there, and like they started after us. So I'm like, what the fuck? But there must be a way to get in. Like I figured that they just go and look, and if you pop up on their radar, then you end up like on the list, but I guess you gotta like nominate yourself or like
Yeah,
pay
I
the
think like
money
you
or
definitely got
something.
to be nominated, and then they like from what I understand after I looked into it, so like those when we're voting, like there was even more, but those are like the last ones. Like those are like the last of the nominees, like or the last top 10 or whatever. So it's like they've already kind of like went through and checked it out, kind of thing before they put it up for the voters. Is what I heard or
Okay,
something
okay.
like that. Yeah, they
So like they
definitely
already
did.
make a list
Yeah,
and then
like
out
they
of that
probably
are
had
the
like
nominees.
yeah, like they probably had like I don't know, I don't know, like I'm just throwing out, but maybe like 20, 30 fucking entries, maybe more, and then they narrowed it down to this. It's finalists. That was the finalists. So we are the finalists of the nominees, and then that's when the public
Okay.
votes.
Oh,
Yeah.
That
okay.
makes more sense then. Yeah, okay, okay. So we just didn't make the cut then.
Bro, you guys are gonna be there next year. Fuck, I promise you that.
No man, we're
And they
shooting
only
for
do this.
faces
Is
because
it
man,
like once a year? Or do they do it several times a year on different categories, or like?
once a year.
Yeah.
Once a year. And they usually
Once a
have like
year.
a
And
ceremony and
man,
shit for it. Like they usually have like
that's
a
what I was just
yeah, like they usually have like a fucking like black tie or black suit of like you gotta dress up and fucking go reserve a table and shit, you know what I mean? And you're sitting there
well
with the news. And it's usually like it's like filmed on the news and the news is there. And it's like you're there with a bunch of
okay.
It's
professionals.
good
You
exposure
know?
for sure.
Well we were gonna pull up I think it was last year or whatever, we were gonna pull up because I got like an email about um like buying tickets and shit, and like so you can buy a ticket, like you get like dinner and shit like that, but
Yeah.
you're like you get a seat at a table, right?
Yeah, you're just
But then you can
spectator.
buy like a table and shit. But then you can buy like a booth or whatever, right? Like there's like little VIP spots. So I was like, boys, I'm like, wouldn't it be sick if we got a booth, fill up the booth, everyone has dinner, drinks and shit, even if we're not even fucking
Yeah, just do it.
nominated or whatever. Just show up and
Yeah.
then everyone's like, yo, who are the guys in the corner? You know, like
Yeah, I
fucking
Yeah.
know
put up a
exactly.
big
Just
Start
like
handing
4G
me.
out
sign,
cards
like
and
fuck
shit. Yeah.
y'all.
Yo, guys, I'll be back in 1 second. I'm gonna grab a paper.
Do it up.
Yeah.
Get it?
Fuck, I ran out of papers today. I got none.
Oh
Shit,
no?
that
Oh man,
sucks.
there should be I don't know, there should be a pack of these over my end of the table maybe.
I've looked. I looked all over. I'm like,
Oh,
there's
okay.
gotta be papers around here somewhere.
Cause the last time I was at your house, I swear I left a pack of these there.
Yeah. I'll
If
look
not,
again.
then I've lost them somewhere. But
But yeah, I thought I looked anyways, and I couldn't find any.
dirty.
I'm tempted to use this guy right here.
Cascala.
There you go.
The fuck, you have to find a way. Put some tape around it.
Yeah, it's not.
Like hold it in your hand. Hold the bong in your or the pipe in your hand, but it would get hot.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't have a down stem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking BullyZone, I saw a drawing that you posted the other day or whatever, and it looked like maybe like a medallion of some sort
Oh yeah. I'm getting a
or
custom
a
piece
pendant.
made. Yeah. I'm getting
Sick.
I hit up this fucking jeweler around here. Man, this guy here
I got a
like
guy.
what?
I got a guy.
Fuck, I already sent it. I already sent the deposit and all that shit. But who's your guy?
Okay.
Where's he from?
He's Greece.
Okay, but like where is he in Ottawa? Is he like
Yeah, he's in Ottawa. He used to have a spot near me, but he moved into the city and like, man, I went everywhere to get someone to. The fuck did I need? I needed somebody to take the links out of my watch, or put them in, or whatever, vice versa.
yeah.
And I went everywhere, man. And like they're like, I can't touch that. I can't touch that. I can't touch that. I'm like, what the fuck, man? No one would fucking fix this watch. So I went to him, like, dude, I'm like, no one would fucking fix this watch for me. And he was laughing at me because it's a fucking Burberry watch. And like, so he's like, oh, Mr. Burberry, oh, like making fun of me. But so he's like, I'll fix it for you. But anyways, yeah, so no one would fix it. But okay, so listen to this, man. Whenever he first moved to here, everyone like knew who he was and shit, right? Like apparently he was like a big jeweler in Canada, and they had Fabergé eggs. These I don't know who had them, but somebody in Canada had them, and they were worth like millions of dollars or something, or maybe not millions, but a lot of money, anyways. And the only person that they would trust to fix them was him. But either way, so he's good. He has like mines and shit, man. Um, he like he'll go and hang out like wherever. I don't know exactly where they are, but he'll go and like hang out. He's like, man, I sit there and like he's like they treat me like a king, man. He's like, because I've provided like their whole fucking town or city or whatever with work and shit, right? He's like, so they treat me like a king there, you know. But he goes and he like mines gold and shit, man.
Yo, I need a guy because like everybody uses this one guy in town, and like I don't know what it is about me, man, but like this is like the third time I try to do any type of work with him, and he just treats me like a fucking goof, man. Like I don't know how else to say it. Like he just like the first time I went to him, I just needed a bezel, man. I needed like just literally a bezel to go around a gold coin that I wanted to have on my chain, and like with my knowledge of whatever, I'm not a jeweler, but I used to sell jewelry, so I know the value of gold and all that shit, especially at the time. And like I know the work that goes into it. So I was expecting us to pay maybe like fucking maybe 1,500, 2,000 bucks. This guy quoted me something like $4,000, like something ridiculous. But the crazy part about it is I know other guys that he does work for or with, and like Nico, for example. I don't know if you've seen his big ass pieces. Like he paid the same thing for this that the guy was trying to quote me. So I really believe the guy, like a lot of like you know, like D-boys go in there, like trap kids, and they go spend the re-ups, so they don't know the actual value. Like they just see bling and they're like, okay, I'll buy it.
Right.
And I think the guy just looked at me and he's like, oh, this guy, you know, I could get money out of him. And like, so I didn't do the business that time. And then maybe following or around the same year when I didn't do that, that Christmas, he had advertised that he had like this fucking angel wing or something that I wanted to buy. And I remember it being like a crazy fucking like snowstorm that day. And I messaged him and I'm like, do you still have that thing there? And he's like, yeah, it's here. Sure enough, I drive through the snowstorm and all this shit. And he didn't even have it. The girl tells me it was sold last week. Then he's trying to like sell me some other garbage stuff. And then like it just never happened. And then the other day I hit him up. I'm like, hey man, I'd like to make a pendant. Like I hit him up on IG and he replies to me, sure. What the fuck do you mean sure, man? Like what do you mean sure, you know? So then I just hit up Dow Jones. So it's I'm actually getting my piece done by the Canadian Diamond Boys.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like such poor like customer service and shit. Like when people like that.
I hate that, man, because I work with the public and I come from a fucking like, you know, a little more rugged background than most. Like this guy, he looks like he's like grew up wearing fucking button ups tucked in all day. Like he probably had dinner rules and shit. You know what I mean? Like why are you talking to me like that, bro? You know what I mean? Like fucking trying to spend money here. I'm trying to get a service, and you just see every time, man. So I was like, fuck it. I'm literally like, I'm never gonna hit this guy up again.
And spend your money.
And it's unfortunate. Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I've seen him do nice work for other people, and the people tell me the price. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, why was this guy charging me 2 times more than he's trying to charge you?
Unless they're lying to you about what they paid for it.
Well, it's my homie, man.
But see, and that's the thing, man, is I'm always really kind of sketchy with the fucking with like jewelry and shit, because like it's so easy for someone to just fucking, because I don't fucking know anything about it. Like I don't have any knowledge. You give me some shit, it fucking could be plated, it could be fucking whatever, man. I mean, I can tell some gold, but you know, like I don't know this shit, right? So my point is I trust this guy because he's like my like a friend of mine. It's her stepdad, and like he's always like really, like he's always really nice and shit, and like fucking even like, man, I fucking met him like once, and then the next time I saw him, he's like, hey, how's it going? Like, what's up? Yeah, fucking but yeah, so I trust him though, like to not do me wrong, and like I said, he seems like he's pretty good at what he does. Like he could actually make it. It's not like he just sells the jewelry. He's like making all this shit.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yo, I would actually check him out because I actually want to do some like little like medallions for the label, and even like possibly even give them out to whoever I work with on the label if we work on.
Yeah, man. I was actually looking to get a 4G audio one.
Man, I'd love to get a 4G pendant. That'd be dope.
One thing I would suggest, man, is just like be careful with like diamonds. You know, like diamonds nowadays, like they can make so many lab diamonds that test as real. So like you literally like there's almost no point in getting diamonds or buying.
I just want cubes.
What do you mean?
Cubic zirconians, fuck it.
But yo, bro, you could buy lab diamonds for fucking the same price as Cubans these days, bro, you know? And then when you test it, it tests real.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah, bro.
Okay.
Like when I was doing the grills, so like say like at the time, so this is maybe 2 years ago, I don't know, the price probably did go up. but at the time, like a .1 diamond, like a VVS, like an actual mined diamond, like a .1 was like $27 to $30, like each one. But a lab diamond, a lab diamond that looks exactly the fucking same, that you could put the fucking diamond tester to, and it'll still prove diamond, was $5. You know what I mean? Like big difference, man. That's why when when jewelers are like, "Yo, you want me to ice that out for you or this that?" I'm, no, I don't want none of your diamonds, man.
I think those lab diamonds are like too perfect though, too, right? Like I think a lot of people look for that, like when they're
cubic zirconians are too perfect.
Is that what that is? Yeah.
Yeah, so back in the day, in the 80s, they started selling these cubic zirconians.
That's right.
And the thing was people would look at them and be like, "Fuck, they're so perfect. They're like VVS ones, you know." And they'd think that they were like perfect clarity and shit. And like the old man from the Pawn Stars or whatever.
Yeah, I've been watching that recently.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, the old man fucking bought he bought $80,000 worth of fucking cubic zirconians and didn't know it because it was the 80s and they just came out, and he was like, "Look at how clear these are. I'll take all of them," you know?
Yeah.
And so he fucking got raped pretty bad on that deal.
Got wrecked.
Yeah, so they say that they're clearer, and they say that's how you tell as you look at it. If it's too perfect, it's a cube.
If it's too good to be true. It probably is.
Fuck, I still haven't ordered my ashtray, man. I want a fucking ashtray like that. I'm not gonna get the same one though.
Yeah.
What's that?
There's a cool elephant one.
Oh shit.
Oh, the ashtray he's got.
Elephant one, yeah.
That's dope. That's
that's
the FIFA trophy, right?
Oh,
Is it?
It's just a globe.
I thought that it looks like the FIFA World Cup, like when they.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah.
That's just what it reminds me of, anyways.
It's like a little more of like a thing, but yeah, definitely like a gold globe.
So what's up, man? How you guys been holding up, man?
Bro, pretty good.
Man.
I've been working a lot.
Surviving. I've been doing the same as you, just getting fat. I put on like fucking 20 pounds in the last, like, since I've been off work.
Real shit, bro.
I'm drinking a lot of water, man.
Look at that.
Water gig.
Wilding with the gallons. I fucking went and bought this gallon jug. Came right to my house. Fucking drink out of it all the time. It's awesome.
That's sick.
But yeah, no, water's good for you. And it's even got a fucking thing on the side. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's like the milliliters.
Yeah.
And then it's like the time. So by 9 a.m. you should be here.
Holy fuck.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All the way to 9 p.m. But I mean, I don't know what you do after that. What do you drink after that?
You refill
You just
it.
drink for the next 8
like way
hours.
too much water per day.
Wow, fuck. If you're,
8 liters.
it's probably more for like someone who's like working out. I usually drink one of those will last me 2 days. But man, I used to drink like the one time, man, I lost like fucking 80 pounds. I lost 40 pounds in 8 weeks. And like all I was doing, man, was fucking just like drinking water, man. And like I had a gallon container and I would fill it with ice and water. And some days, man, by the end of the day, I would like refill it again and drink it. Like, but again, it was the middle of the summer. I was like sweating and shit and whatever. But yeah, man, I would drink sometimes 2 gallons a day. But always like a gallon a day. And I think that's what helped me lose some weight too, man. Because I wasn't doing anything. I was like, I think I was working at the time, but like
water weight, you're just holding all the weight in water.
I was like, I was stressed out too. Fucking, I had like a bunch of shit going on in life, and I was super stressed out. But yeah, man, I lost 40 pounds in 8 weeks, and then over the next like 4 months, I lost another 40 pounds. So I lost 80 pounds in like fucking 6 months.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
But
yeah,
fuck, I need that in my life.
Me too, man. I need it to happen again. Because, man, you know what? I'm literally back to the same size as I was before that happened. And that, like, man, I was so... In, like, 2013, I was 80 pounds less than I weigh now.
Yeah.
So the point is I slowly gained it back.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm definitely, like, the biggest I've ever been, man. It's crazy, man. But like, bro, like there's been days like 3 days in a row where I don't even leave the house, like full days. Like I go from the couch to the other couch, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think the other day, like I put a shirt on and then I took it off. And, like that was it. That was my day, man.
Oh shit, lockdown, man, sucks.
Yeah. I have a bunch of people that hit me up for tattoos, even studio time, but like, fuck, man, it's not even worth it, man.
Yeah.
It's not worth the fines and the headaches, if just in case, you know.
Could you do like freelance tattoo shit? Like take your shit and just like meet somewhere?
I mean, like, yeah, like
cash in hand
I
kind of
could.
thing.
I mean, I could, you know, like definitely could. I just like I prefer not to, man. I was doing that like during that first like lockdown, to be honest. But this time, like I work a lot too, so I was looking forward to like the break. But now it's been like enough's enough, you know. I'm ready to get back to work.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to be out like by this time. It was supposed to only go to January like 21st or 23rd or something.
23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they fucking.
For us, it was supposed to be the 9th or some shit, but then they pushed it to the 23rd because they said everyone in Southern Ontario was to the 23rd. Yes, please.
Yeah, I haven't even I haven't even heard of how long we were extended for. I didn't even hear about it. Oh yeah, we're going to extend it. You know, it's just like
I heard till
and then they did
February
like
14th.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, then they put the fucking. Then after that, they put the state of emergency, and then someone told me that they put like a second state of emergency, like it like extended and made it like more serious or something.
Fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
When I think of state of emergency, I think of like sandbags and like the military and like like shit going down and shit.
Yeah, a flood. I mean, like, yeah.
It's actually ridiculous, man. It's actually ridiculous. It is. But like, enough's enough. Fuck, it's over. We're going on a year now, man. Like, holy fuck off.
It is
fuck
now,
off, fuck off. Like,
and
just
they're
fuck
only
off.
just at this point. Like, I think Trudeau just said today that they're putting restrictions on like international travel. So like you said, it's been going on for a year, and people have been able to jump on a plane or jump on a train, basically. Whatever they want, they can travel. They've got like all kinds of restrictions. Like, okay, you got to isolate for 2 weeks if you come into the country, whatever. But regardless, they've been letting people travel, right? And I think just.
Well, yeah, even right now.
Just today, I think they banned that, or like they're putting some kind of more restrictions on travel.
But
it's like.
But like even now with the lockdown, though. But like even now with the lockdown, before they did that, with the like new lockdown as of like Boxing Day when they put that lockdown on, they put out the fucking rules for the. Or no, sorry, wait, it was when the state of emergency happened. They put out the rules for the state of emergency. It's like you're only allowed to leave your house for these reasons. It's like exercise, like going to the hospital, taking your dog to the vet, and like all this shit. The last rule on the list was. If you're traveling outside of the province or the country, I'm like, wait, but that should be the first fucking thing. It shouldn't be like an exception that you're allowed to do that. It should be that's the first thing that you're cutting. Yeah, like fucking people, like man, like because you could get pulled over and fucking just because you don't have a good enough excuse, you get a fucking fine.
That's what I'm saying.
But the guy who's going to fucking Guatemala or whatever, fucking, he gets the okay.
Italy or China, fuck.
Yeah.
You see that Roman Baber guy or Roman Baber or whatever? He's like he has something to do with the government, but he like got fired because he spoke out on all this shit. Like he was like saying like basically
he wrote a letter.
Rules are dumb. Yeah, and then he got a bunch of doctors to write a letter.
Oh yeah.
It was like like 4 BC doctors and then like 2 Ontario doctors and like one from somewhere else. But it was like fucking 7 or 8 doctors and they got together and wrote him a letter being like, look, like it's worse. Like, man, like people fucking committing suicide and fucking ODing and all this shit. And like, it's getting crazy. So like, fucking calm down. And like, I feel like if there's other doctors reaching out to be like, hey man, calm down. I feel like it's not just for the better of like everyone's health. There's another thing, you know what I mean? Like if there's doctors saying, hey man, that's too much, then I feel like because everyone's like, oh, we're just listening to the doctors, but I'm like, yeah, but there's a bunch of other doctors saying, whoa,
That's the thing, though.
like,
Even Ford, like, he said that he's following the advice of like health experts, but then refuses to release the information
Exactly.
of which health experts he's getting the information from.
Exactly,
So, like,
man.
how the fuck do we know who he's getting his information from? Plus, we've got video evidence of like these health experts sitting at a desk being like, "Oh, I just say whatever they tell me to say.
Exactly.
I don't know why I bring all this paperwork. I just say whatever they tell me to." It's like, who the what? How we can't trust these people anymore? It's been like there's been years and years like historical precedents of governments lying to the people to achieve nefarious bullshit, and there's just evidence upon evidence upon evidence that this thing isn't as deadly as what they're saying it is, and they're getting sweeping new powers and printing out trillions of dollars of money for stimulus things.
man,
Like, it's just
I was even thinking of this.
dumb. It's gotten to the point of stupidity at this point.
Yo, bro,
I was even thinking of this.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking of this the other day about how like fucking I said on the last podcast that the two things that you can die from the withdrawal of the government sells legally is fucking opiates and fucking alcohol. And so I was thinking upon that idea, and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm like, so the doctors are like, okay, yeah. So everyone's like, my doctor told me to take this Oxycontin, right? So I trust my doctor, but I don't know about in Canada, but I know in the States, the doctors make money off of the fucking, they get kickbacks from the prescriptions they put out, right? So, and then the other thing is that they're always updating medical shit, right? Because there's new discoveries and stuff. So these doctors that learn whatever at their time, they go to do like workshops where they learn more shit, and they go to seminars and they learn like the new fucking breaking shit in medical stuff, right? But my point is that I put my trust in the doctor, and the doctor says, yeah, take this drug. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it just because my doctor says so, right? I'm not saying that your doctor is in on the scheme, or your doctor's like, yeah, we'll get him addicted and I'm going to make money off this. But maybe what our doctors are being told, the new updates to medical technology or whatever, are actually people feeding in stuff. Like me just going in and being like, I fucking, I'm the big pharma, so we're gonna start teaching all the doctors that, yeah, man, fucking, you got a minor cold, take this fucking
100%
syrup. It's got opiates in it or whatever, right? So then the doctors are blind because they're just doing what they're taught, and we're listening to the doctors because we trust them. So I'm not saying it's facts. It's just that I was thinking in my head, I'm like, man, what if that's the way it is? Is like,
nah, bro,
on the
that's
top
the way
of
it
feeding
is,
the raw information.
Bro, that's exactly what it is. Yo, these people, think about it too, how long it takes to become a doctor. So you really have a belief in what you're doing, and then you're trained. And that's, are you trained or are you brainwashed? So one or the other, So you're trained to really believe that medicine is the cure to all, and you're the one who's gonna administer or whatever, give the diagnosis or diagnostics to treat the cause. They're not there to fucking cure the cause. They're there to treat the cause.
Yeah, they need repeat customers, right? They don't want to cure you. They want to keep selling to you, right? So
exactly.
They want
to keep selling to you. There's big billion-dollar corporations behind all this shit, man. The doctors are just good people trying to do their job.
And that's right, because like, let's say for argument's sake, you have like these doctors, like they do spend their entire lives specializing their field of knowledge about the human body and how it works. So if I fucking need crazy heart surgery or brain surgery, like, of course I'm gonna trust one of these doctors, to do the surgery and help me get better, right? Like, there's tons of examples.
But a surgeon is a little different. Like, we're talking about curing or treating, illness or disease.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, it would be a heavy argument if you were somebody who was just considered a fucking stoner, and you're trying to tell a doctor who went to school for 10 years that marijuana has fucking medical purposes. They would fucking lock you up and say you're a fucking drug dealer. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Now they're all about it. Oh yeah, bomb. So it's like,
that's kind of my point. Is that there's a time and a place. Like, there's a certain field of medicine that I'm like, fully behind. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, if I need a doctor, if I'm gonna die of like some sort of brain tumor and they need to do some life-altering surgery on me to you're the expert. I'm gonna listen to every fucking thing that you say because I don't know shit about that. But
Well, then we could say the same thing. Are you going to take the vaccine? Because the experts are
fuck
going to tell you
no.
to take the vaccine.
Right,
The
but that's the
experts are
thing.
going to
Like,
say,
I know, and that's
But I
my
see what you're
point.
saying.
Is that like
It's like the flu
I
shot.
don't need a vaccine. Like I know I trust my body's immune system more than this vaccine. I know
I
it's
hear
kind of
you, I
like
hear you, I hear
that
you.
that dichotomy of like, oh, do I trust it blindly across the board, or do I say, okay, like if I have this life-threatening illness and you're saying that you can cure me through surgery, then sure, let's try it. But if you're
Of course.
Yeah.
You have
but
no
if
other
I
option,
see this
man, unless you're going to
virus
go.
that has a 99% survival rate, and you're saying I got to take this virus or this vaccine to, protect me from this virus that I have a 99% chance of surviving from, then I don't. The risk reward is just not there for me. So
Of
I'm
course.
not going to take that risk because it doesn't make sense to me. Whereas,
And like, I see what you mean. Is there's a separation too between fucking you're gonna do surgery to make my fucking shoulder work better. Okay, cool. But you're gonna tell me that I have to fucking take this fucking heroin
Exactly.
cough syrup
You
because
have
I
to
have
take
a cough.
Percocets afterwards.
Yeah, like, and
So
yeah, so it's just. I mean, go ahead.
I totally, I do like. I'm grateful that we're here in Canada and we do have great doctors and surgeons that could do what they do. So in that sense, we are lucky, and I do trust them in that sense. But at the same time,
We got the
where are we
strongest
gonna go?
oxy.
Yeah, there you go. But like, where else would we go
160.
for
Sorry.
surgery? You know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna go find some fucking shaman in the Amazon and get them to fucking put some paste on our legs to cure our fucking whatever? You know,
just like
so that's all we got. You know, so they got us there, and we're fucking super lucky to get that shit for free. Because really,
Yeah.
it's not
Man.
we
free.
have no other
Really.
fucking
It's really
option.
not
Like
free.
we would literally have no other option if we were dying and in need or we need surgery. We'd have no other option but to pay. So we are.
Yeah. And I will say, yeah, it isn't free, but at the same time, man, if you knew how much it costs to fucking just to go in and like fucking get a cast on your arm because you broke your arm, man, my parents would be fucking like
You'd be
broke as fuck, man. I'd be living in a car, man. Because seriously, man,
Yeah.
I broke my fucking I broke both my wrists at the same fucking time, man. I fucking broke my leg, but not only did I break my leg, man, I had to go back to the doctor for like the next 3 years, like every fucking couple months to get them to like look at it and make sure everything was going good.
So
like, man, yeah, that would cost like so much, man. Even just to have a baby, man. I saw it the other day, man. It's like
yes.
it can be upwards of like 20-30 grand, man, to fucking go in and stay like 2 nights and have a baby quick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Which is
saying.
why you better. So most people in the States, like that's in the States, right? Like most people actually do have insurance through their jobs or whatever, so it doesn't directly cost them that money. They still have to pay.
No, true.
You know what I mean? It's only if you're, if you have a shitty job or you don't have any job that
There's more poverty though in the States.
Absolutely,
there's more
true.
like the balance is there's more poor than rich.
And there's
So there
more
are
youth getting pregnant at the same time, right? And they don't have like awesome jobs with crazy insurance that can cover that shit, so that sets them up into a life of debt. Like if you have a kid at fucking 19, 16, 8, whatever years old, and you got to pay $20,000-$30,000 for a hospital, bill afterwards, and you're fucked. Like, what do you do?
But see, and the thing is some places only take the fucking they'll take like the certain insurance plans, but not other ones, right? And it's because what they're technically doing is they're filtering out the poor people or whatever, right? So they're like, oh, we don't take the bronze package, you know what I mean? Like we only take like this or whatever, right? Or we don't take that one, we take this one, but it's because you fucking work at McDonald's but they don't know that. I'm not saying they know that. It's just that maybe McDonald's only offers this fucking insurance, and then the CEO at McDonald's gets fucking this insurance or whatever, right?
Well, the amount of coverage.
The point is like, man, even I know somebody that was in the States, man, they broke their leg, and it was like 10 grand, man. 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yo,
Crazy, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people down there go to extreme lengths, man, just to not have to go to the hospital. Like if they gotta cut off a hand or something, they'll do it.
Man.
Or they got to go there and
Yo, I was actually
Crazy.
watching this thing the other day about this guy who's like an exchange student from somewhere. Is like Thailand or some like Asian
Parents
country or some
can
shit.
cover that shit too, but
Oh, Styles, you froze out, bro.
We're losing him. So anyway,
I thought he was frozen there.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna continue my story. So, anyways, like I'm watching this thing, and
Go
it's like
ahead.
this exchange student, like, and he works on a farm, and he was, I guess he got his hand caught in some machinery, and it like crushed his hand and like ripped it open and like all apart, and had to get rushed to the hospital to have like crazy surgery and shit. But yeah, obviously, like he's an exchange student and doesn't have any sort of like coverage or anything like that. So it's like,
Yeah.
what does he do? Like, I don't know if that ruined his life or what, but like he was probably fucked after that.
We start thinking of other things to do with that nub. That's what's up, man. Real shit, man. You start thinking of other shit real quick, man.
Yeah.
Yo, you guys fuck with cryptocurrency?
Bro, I'm
Jonesy does.
yes. I am very. So there's a lot going on.
Dog shit.
Doge.
Yeah, I heard
Dogecoin.
about that today.
So that's on the. So
Yeah,
that's only
Doja
going.
Cat.
Okay, so that's
Look at
only
the
going crazy
excitement I
right
just
now
caused
because.
here. Yeah, boy.
Because
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
you're familiar with the GameStop thing that's going on right now?
Bro,
Yeah,
can
facts.
I
Did you
just
see the
Yeah.
new price thing?
Okay,
I
hold
know
on.
what you're gonna
Yeah.
get to, but just take this. So listen. Let me just say this, and you're gonna be like, "Holy fuck!" Okay.
Yeah.
So just
Holy
recently,
fuck.
yeah, real shit. So just recently, a friend of mine, I actually reached out to a buddy of mine who kind of flips houses, and I have a bit of cash and whatever. I'm bored sitting at home, so I'm like, "Fuck, man, why don't we get a place I could do some work while I'm not working, and we could flip a house." And he's like, man, I just had some issues with a couple flips. He's like, I'm thinking of not fucking around with that. But he's like, yo, what do you know about cryptocurrency? And in particular, like, obviously everybody knows the big boy, the Bitcoin, but apparently, like, and you're probably familiar with Ethereum.
Right.
Exactly. So he was like, yo, this thing Ethereum, it's really going up and blah, blah, blah. So this was about 2 weeks ago. So if you're following it, you're going to know. So about 2 weeks ago, Ethereum was sitting around like
700.
$1,200.
It's
Yeah, that was
700.
about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago was 700. Okay, or maybe a week ago. Maybe I'm getting things wrong, but it went from 7 to 12.
Right.
So I had a plan.
It's at like 18 now.
Yeah, I bought in. Right now it's probably sitting at like 16.7 or some shit. But anyways, so sure enough, I started investing, and but I had a plan. Like I had a plan, and I wanted to take X amount of dollars from my bank account and put it into this. And I like whatever, fuck, it was gonna be like 15,000, and I had a plan to put like 10 or more into the Doge. No, sorry, not Doge. Into
Ooh, 10 or more.
10 into the fucking Ethereum. I wanted to put a couple on fucking Bitcoin and a couple on Doge. But it's been snowing and I'm fucking lazy and I'm like got off the couch, so I've missed fucking 2 bank appointments where I was supposed to go do this and I didn't do it.
Bro, you can do that with your cell phone. I do that's all.
No, because my shit's in GICs, bro. I'm taking my GICs out.
Oh, I see.
So that's what it is.
Okay.
So I did whatever I had in my account. That's what I started with. I sent like a couple bands over from like that I just had sitting in my safe, and not in my savings, but just in my account. And I was trying to send the fucking ball.
I thought you said safe.
Yeah. Well, fuck, it's different. Cash is different, man. But anyways, so sure enough, as I'm doing the research, I start hearing about this Doge and how it's just like a joke and people could get rich off of it, blah blah blah. So the other night, I get up. And I fucking like literally, I was like, I get up for a pee in the middle of the night, and I grab my phone just to check shit out.
Wait, did you say a pee?
I transfer some of my Bitcoin money into Doge. Bro, I wake up in the morning, the Doge went up 800%.
Yeah, man. And you know why that is, right? You know why that is, right? So there's this whole thing that's going on with the GameStop.
Get to the story.
Right? So the GameStop thing, right? They've got all these Wall Street hedge funds that have shorted the GameStop stocks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they wanted to, and it was like back like a year ago, GameStop was like going for like $3 or $4 per share. And
Shut up, Robin Hood.
fuck Robin Hood. Fuck Robin
But
Hood.
I gotta say, I don't agree with it, but that's a fucking gangster move.
No, man, that's bullshit. Like that's
Yeah, you
manipulating
can't
the
do that.
markets, man.
Yeah, you can't.
For sure.
prevent people
But on
from
the
buying-
streets, it's a different world.
But anyways,
That's a gangster move. But yeah,
I bought
sorry. Anyways,
I bought into Bitcoin in like March of last year when it was down at like $8,000, and now it's at like $48,000. So
Sorry, say that again.
So when it was the beginning of the pandemic at around March last year that I bought I initially bought into Bitcoin, and it was sitting around
Nice.
it was sitting around $8,000, and it's all the way up now.
Nice.
It's all the way up now to like $48,000.
I think it's at like 43 right now.
I tripled the amount of money that I put in. I tripled that money, pulled my initial investment out. So now I'm just sitting with like pure profit that I'm just holding that now and just letting it gain value for whatever happens.
So what did you buy at Ethereum?
I spent a couple $100. I have probably about $1,100 worth of Ethereum right now, but I spent probably like $400 total.
Nice. So you bought in when it was like around 700?
Before that, I bought in when it was like
good for you, man.
Like I said, when it was like beginning of the pandemic, March last year, I started really looking.
Oh shit! So it's probably down to like 300 by then.
$300, yeah. It was like
$300. Yeah, wow, good for you, bro.
I got in early, and like early compared to what's going on now, but it's like I say, it's one of those things that it's made me like a couple $1,000s.
So did you have some money in Doge?
I don't have any in Doge right now. Yeah, I know that's when I missed out on. But I was like,
listen to this. So my plan was to put $2,000 on Doge. Yesterday at its peak, it went up 800%. My $2,000 would have been $160,000 fucking dollars.
Which is
my
crazy.
$2,000 would have been $160,000. So because I only had $100, I literally
it's less than a penny right now, right? Dogecoin, it's like 0.06 cents for one coin. Like you could buy the shit dirt cheap.
I had $1. No, sorry, not $1. I'm again.
It would have been 16 G's.
I woke up at night and I was just like, yo, I gotta put money on Doge. Like I don't even know why, bro. I fucking just did it. Like in my sleep, woke up and was like, put money on Doge. I put money on Doge, but I only put $100. And my $100 at peak yesterday, and I went up. Like when I woke up, it was up like 300%. Then it was up 400%. So I threw another $100 on it. So then at that point, I bought when it got to its peak at 800%. I was profiting $1,400. I went on live with Yardy. I started shooting the shit with him, and then we actually talked about it. And then he's like, "When were you gonna sell? When do you think you'd sell out?" I'm like, "I'll ride the wave." He's like, "Why don't you sell now, bro?" I'm like, "Well, who knows, man? In 5 minutes, it could be $2,500."
You heard what happened with Elon today, right?
Yeah, and then I'm like, but again, in 5 minutes, it could be fucking nothing. So sure enough, I was on the live with him for about fucking, I don't know, a good hour or so. I get off, I check. It went all the way down to 600. So from 14, it went down to 600. I was like, oh shit, that's a drop. So I fucking stayed up a little bit for like an hour. I watched it go up and down. And then when it got to about 7, I cashed out. So I made about $600.
Nice. And that's what you got to do. Like,
that's my first ever trade.
All you need to do is wait for if you kept that $600 profit and like waited for the next dip, buy back in and wait for it to go back up.
Of course.
And then just.
But it hasn't moved. Again. Notice it hasn't moved yet. It hasn't moved at all.
So apparently the Dogecoin went up like crazy like that because these Reddit retail investors
and TikTokers.
They're trying to take down these hedge fund people that have shorted this stock, right? So what they would do is buy Dogecoin because it's so dirt cheap. And then that pushed the price up so much, they all cash out, which is probably why it dipped again. And then they make a bunch of profit, and then they take that profit and buy the GameStop.
Ethereum.
Or no, they buy it's the GameStop, man. Like that's what they're trying to bankrupt these hedge funds that have shorted the GameStop. It's like AMC, Bed Bath and Beyond. There's like a bunch of other like
TELUS. No, not TELUS. What is it?
It's Nokia. Yeah. So these have all been shorted like crazy, and the people are trying to like be like, "Yo, everyone, push these stocks up," because it will force these hedge funds to buy these stocks back at way higher prices than what they wanted it to.
Can I ask a question? Do you use a cold wallet or do you use just like an online wallet?
I use an online wallet. I have just an app, like trading app, 2 trading apps. I have Wealth Simple, which allows me to buy like your average stocks on the TSX or NASDAQ or whatever, like Apple, Tesla, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I have an app called BitBuy, which is strictly
Apple's
cryptocurrency.
doing great now.
Is there a lot of fees in the BitBuy?
It's like, it depends. Like, there is fees for sure.
And trading, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
for every $100 that
Isn't Wealthsimple free?
Wealthsimple is free, yeah.
But is Wealthsimple crypto?
It's both, actually. You can set up like TRSAs or TFSAs, like tax-free savings accounts, RRSPs, just regular trading, and then crypto as well. But they only deal in Bitcoin and Ethereum. They don't let you buy any of the altcoins, like Litecoin or Dogecoin or anything like that. It's strictly Ethereum and Bitcoin. So I wanted to get onto. So the other BitBuy one, there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, EOS, and there's some others, but they don't. I can't get Dogecoin on there either, or Dogecoin or whatever the fuck it is.
I use Exodus.
Oh, okay, I'll check that one out.
Yeah, it's supposedly like more user friendly for Canadians and whatnot. But there's lots of fucking fees I've noticed, even within trades. When I was doing my trades yesterday, just from like my Bitcoin to my fucking to the Doge, like just it was or vice versa. Like every trade, it seemed like it was taking like $10 or more. That's fucking adds up over time.
It does add up for sure.
A lot.
Like I say, for every $100 that I put into the BitBuy, it would take $1.26 or something like that. So it's like 1.2% or something that it would take from you. And that's on the initial like deposit, and then if you want to withdraw your cash, it does a 5% fee.
Oh fuck it.
Right, so like whatever profit you make, you got to calculate in your 5% fee that you might lose. So if you're gonna,
We need to make an app.
If you're gonna cash out, calculate in those fees before you do that.
But yo, it's crazy, this whole crypto world, bro. I just got into it, man, and what the fuck? Holy shit.
Taking over, man. I'm telling you, it's the future.
It's a train to be on.
I've been telling people for like since I started in March, like I've been telling people, fucking buy crypto. I even told my mom.
I wish I was talking to you about this then. I wish I knew about it then, because the way that I go at things, I would have went hard then, and I'd be a fucking rich now, man.
Man, bro, I sit here and watch, like, there's like YouTube, like they do live.
So me too.
Like
I watch Bitcoin.
So like they do the charts, and you can get the minutes, like the minute or 4 hours or 1 hour, and they're like going through all the trending lines and.
Yeah, man, that's what I've been doing here. That's what I've been doing on lockdown. Literally learning about this shit.
Fucking right. Me too, man. That's exactly it. That's what I've been spending all my time doing, like learning how to.
And bro, just on a fucking whim, because of like just the shenanigans, if you will, I've heard of Dogecoin and how it can work. I fucking randomly just was like, hey, I'm gonna throw $100 on this, and I had the game plan to throw 2,000. Man, imagine, bro, I had the 2 bands on that. The bitch I would have been up 160 racks.
That would have been nuts.
For 2K.
That's the thing.
Yo, I get it, man. Everybody, it's like a lottery. Like
I don't have the time.
Huh?
You gotta make the time.
Go ahead.
Yo, it's that one though.
I don't have the time to learn all that shit.
Bro, it's simple. You know about money. It's money, bro. What do you mean? You already know about money. You just know about paper money. Like you already know about money.
Yo, and that's you know the thing. Like the paper money right now that we use. Like our monetary system right now is already digital. You already have a digital currency.
Yeah, exactly. You're already doing crypto. Like, you just don't know.
Exactly. Every time you fucking boop your phone or your credit card, it's all digital, right? Your money's digital already. And
when you go to the bank and you put your deposit, that goes in, and
these boomers got to change their mindset and be like, oh, okay, like we need decentralized money, and that's what the bonus is of crypto. Nobody owns it. The bank can't stop a transaction. If I want to send some money to Bully for a tattoo or for whatever, I just fucking ship that over.
Nobody has to know, man.
Yeah, it's like I scan his fucking QR code on his crypto wallet, boom, send him some money, and the bank doesn't get their fees. They don't charge. It's just peer-to-peer money trading.
And what Ethereum does, Ethereum allows contracts within these deals, so that it ensures that whatever is said gets done. Ethereum like they also say that this blockchain or whatever, or this technology, Ethereum, like could make like voting accurate 100%. Like there's no way you could fail with it
because it's on the blockchain, right? The blockchain
yeah.
technology, it's a ledger that holds all the transactions between all the thousands and whatever computers that are going on around the world. Every single one logs that information, confirms that information, and it's all transparent. But like,
Yeah, you could see it.
so, it's all encrypted, right? Like, so if I send it to your wallet, it's not going to say, BullyZone or your government name with all your fucking information. It's an encrypted,
It's code, yeah.
bit wallet. So it's all transparent. I can see where that money went or where it's coming from, but I don't know who it's going to or what it's being used for.
Yo, another thing too with Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's not an unlimited supply of these fucking things.
So there's no inflation, which is the key part of like our fiat currency right now. It's all fucking on a whim. The Fed right now is printing off like $1.9 trillion. It's gonna devalue the American currency like you wouldn't believe. So expect
100%.
This,
and watch
it's gonna keep going up, man. The Bitcoin, the comparison to our
but all our shit's gonna go up too, man. Our food is gonna go up. Our rent is gonna go up.
Big time.
Starting, man. Everything's gonna be going up, man.
Yeah. Buy some crypto and buy some gold and silver.
There you go, smart man. I actually been buying gold and silver too, man. And then I just got turned on to this fucking crypto shit. Like
silver's at like
silver's cheap right now.
Silver's at like 69 cents.
It's cheap, and
69 cents a gram.
So
man.
I will say, actually, if you're gonna invest in anything, I would really, really recommend silver because that's also another, just along with GameStop and the other shorted.
Something they're about to pump. Yeah.
It's shorted.
Did you know?
It's a hugely shorted market. So if you pump that price up, if you buy into it, you're like this Reddit army that's going after GameStop right now is going to turn their sights to silver pretty soon, and that's my prediction.
You know
heard
what?
it here first on 4G.
Back in the day, like the 14th century or the 15th century, maybe. I don't know. I might even made that up. But back in the day, it was like old, like in the what do you call it? Like the Chinese empire and shit like that. Like silver was considered more of a precious metal than gold, and if you had silver like jewelry and shit, it showed that you had like clearly you had fucking money. But whereas now like gold and platinum are like more than fucking silver. But like the funny thing is where I learned that is fucking again Pawn Stars. They had a thing. It's like a big long like metal fingernail that goes on your finger, and it had like these dangly things hanging off of it, right? But it had like all nice like I don't know what the fuck, like tortoise or whatever, like that, like fucking I don't know. Anyways, but it was all nice shit. But the guy said, he's like, it's made out of silver. So the thing is the people who wore these things on their fingers, they wore them to show that they didn't have to work. So that's how rich I am. I don't have to work. So they'd wear them on every fucking finger. They'd have these big long like metal fingernails. But so point is but he said, he's like, the fact that it's made out of silver means that it was somebody that literally probably didn't even have to get up to get their own glass of water. Like it was like fucking, they were like high tier type shit. But anyways, point is back in that time, silver was considered more precious than gold.
Man, it's weird. Like the different things that we've used as money for like gold has been a thing for like 6,000 years. Like we've had that as a store of value forever. But like there was kings like back in the day that would use like sticks of certain lengths.
Yeah.
As like it's kind of the same thing. It's like a ledger, and that was how they would determine the value of things.
There was a time when they used rocks, like, so like you know when you picture like if I were to like tell you to picture like the discovery of the wheel, you'd think of a bunch of cavemen sitting around like a round rock with a square hole in the middle, you know, like a flat round rock type thing. That's what they used to use for money at one point, like in a certain place that I don't remember where, but they'd have like a little coin that was made out of rock, but there was a hole in it, and so that was money. But the point is how big it was how much it was worth. And there was a king that his son, he fucking like grew up and he left the kingdom and he went out to fucking make this huge ass fucking rock. And so he ended up getting like he got like, you know, all the king's men or whatever, and got them to come out and help him and shit. And so like it was years or some shit like that he did this, and they were carrying it back and it fucking broke. And but yeah, they used to use rocks with holes in them, or like back in the day, money was fucking farm animals and shit. That's why they put animals on the money. But they used to use shit that people didn't have, different places. So if my people made fucking fish hooks, then
Yeah,
like
exactly. Barter.
you
That
guys
was the
didn't.
barter system, yeah.
Like, I've never seen seashells before, and you guys have seashells because you're on the coast, right? So then you get the seashells, trade them to me for the fish hooks because we happen to make fish hooks. I'm like, oh, cool! I've never seen these fish shells or these seashells before, but it's because I didn't have it, so it's
valuable
something
to
that I
you.
want, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's so crazy, man. Back in the day too, like they used to have like an 8 pence. I think it was Canada.
Canada.
Canada, yeah, it was 8 pence, and it was an eighth of a dollar, so it was 12.5 cents, and it had a cow on it because a cow was worth an eighth of a dollar, and then a pig was worth a 16th of a dollar. So like two pigs would be a cow or whatever. And that's like I said, that's how they made the transition from fucking animals to money, was because they were putting the money,
and that's the same
they
thing
were
that we
putting
did
the
with gold
animals
too.
on them.
So that's how we made the transition between gold and paper money, is that we would, instead of carrying around sacks of fucking metal coins or rocks or whatever the fuck it was, we would just put that in a bank, and then we would carry around the receipts. So I would go and deposit my gold in the bank and get a receipt for how much gold I had. And then if I wanted to buy something from someone, I would just say, here's my receipt for how much gold I have. Take this receipt, and we would trade receipts. And then eventually they say, like, well, instead of using gold as currency, let's just use these paper receipts. And that's essentially
when they fucking tricked us.
Yeah, it's essentially what paper money
stole our
is.
gold.
See, and the first guy who made the first bank, he did that. He was like, yeah, give me your gold or whatever, and I'll write your fucking amount on here. And then everyone would go out and like do their shit and like fucking change their fucking bills or whatever, and then go back and be like, okay, I want to take out my money. But that guy wasn't charging any fees. So he was like legit not making any money. But what he was doing was he was like taking the money, like not all of it. He would take money and use it because all that money's in circulation technically, right? It's all there physically in front of him.
He would loan out more than what he had in reserves, right? So this is what the banks do now. It's like nobody knew, because they were all trading receipts. Nobody knew how much gold was in reserve. They would all just trade their receipts.
But yeah, he wasn't spending he wasn't making any money. He was taking some money because like I said, all the money was in circulation technically, because fucking if you came in and asked for $600 or whatever, it was no big deal because fucking I've been given fucking thousands of dollars or whatever, right? So to him, he was like, yeah, it's not missing. It's just like reallocated, right? And then he ended up fucking like he fucked a bunch of people out of money and like basically fucking died like.
So that's
bankrupt,
like
and everyone.
We had like a run on the banks essentially. So that's what like a run on the bank would be. Like say if one person came in and asked for his $600 back, it would be fine. But if everybody came in all at the same time and said, "Hey, I want my money back. I want to trade this receipt for my actual gold," right? Like they wouldn't be able to do that. So if one person came in, they would have enough in reserve to be able to deal with that one person at a time.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But if everybody came in at the same time and said, "Hey, I want my gold back," they wouldn't be able to do that because they've spent that gold and they've used that gold and they've taken it and they've done their own bullshit with it. And that's basically a run on the bank. When everyone comes in all at the same time and says, "Hey, I want my money back," and they can't, they wouldn't be able to do that because they don't have enough in reserve to actually pay the people back.
Fuck, isn't that kind of like a Ponzi scheme?
It is, yeah. The system is definitely a big Ponzi
pretty
scheme.
much, bro.
It's fraud because they loan out more than what they have in reserve. So fractional reserve lending in a bank, right? They have $1 million in a bank somewhere. They loan out 10 times that amount and collect interest on that amount, you know. But if everyone came back all at the same time and said, "Hey, I want to draw this money out," they wouldn't have enough in reserves to be able to give those people their money back.
Definitely, man. A long time ago, they don't have that money. And that's why you need to get into crypto.
Absolutely.
You guys work for them or what?
No, man. And that's the thing I've been saying.
Bro, what you know it, man, you know it, bro. It's money, man. It's money, bro. It's
I'm
fucking
kicking
money,
myself too because I learned like so when I was back in like 2000, early 2000s, like after 9/11, like I really got into like the whole conspiracy shit and like 9/11 is inside job, yada yada yada, and I learned about like crypto came in like it was created in 2009. I think it was 2009, 2010. And it was 2010 when I heard a lot of these people on Facebook and other conspiracy sites talking about Bitcoin. And I opened a Bit wallet, but at that point, like, literally, man, it was like cents, like 0.0 cents for one Bitcoin. But at that point, you couldn't buy Bitcoin on the market. It was too soon, right? Like you couldn't just go and buy Bitcoin somewhere. You had to mine it, right? And I had no idea how to use my computer to mine Bitcoin at that time. And then it wasn't until a few years later that Bitcoin was being traded on the open markets that you could just buy it, you know, the pre-mined Bitcoin. So yeah, if I would have really like, and I was really into it, I was like really learning all about it, yada yada yada. But I'm like, my computer sucks at this time. Like, I don't know how to get Bitcoin, so I just fucking like whatever. I'm just gonna forget about it. It's way above my head. I don't know, and I just forgot about it. And here we are, like fucking 15 years later.
You would have been a millionaire.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I could have been loaded by this point.
You would have been if you had had even 1 or 2 Bitcoins, bro.
Yeah. That dude that spent like 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza, the first transaction.
Yeah, the first ever transaction was a fucking
10,000 Bitcoin on one pizza.
Yo, you see that guy? Fucking. Apparently, he had like fucking millions of dollars in Bitcoin, and he couldn't remember his password.
Yeah, it happens a lot, man.
Apparently, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of Bitcoin that's been mined that is just not executable.
Well, then
it's lost.
Couple days after they announced it, they announced another thing saying that he only had one more try, or whatever, because I guess they only give you 3 tries. But after that, I felt like it was like a publicity thing.
Well, and then when you got millions sitting in there.
Yeah, but I imagine that's the thing. You got millions in there. I imagine you don't have 3 tries. You can probably fucking call them up and say, look, fucking, you know, because they wouldn't just be like, well, you know, game over, bud.
You know, if you forget the passwords, you forget the password. That's it. That's all,
especially if it's encrypted, man. Like passwords are usually encrypted, so if you can't get it, and you can't find the information that you need to reset that password or do whatever, then.
But I mean, like,
it's gone.
I'm sure there's like a backup email or like, you know, like you can call them. It's not like you're fucking blocked from the site.
I know when I made my wallet, my wallet, like I had to like send them a picture of my ID and a picture of me and do a voice recording.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have to do that.
I did.
That's wild.
Yeah.
They're really getting all your information, your biometrics, your voice, the sound of your voice, your fucking.
Well, bro, like little things like Doge, man, like it should change your life overnight, you know. Like man,
that shit. Honestly, that's a meme. Like that shit got started on a meme, bro. Like the Dogecoin is like basically a joke, and now it's like people are using it to, like I say, just rally it up, take the profits, and use it to.
Well, yo, I actually like it's still part of my fucking portfolio, man. I'm still slapping 2 bands on it. I'm gonna let it ride. Like I don't think it'll ever go up. I don't think it'll ever go up to $1, but I think there will be spikes like this where I could cash out quick.
It could
like,
though. It could. You never know. If it went up to $1, man, you could see yourself being a millionaire pretty quick. Like,
yeah, but the market cap, bro, there's not enough money in the whole world to make that go up to $1. You know what I mean? Like,
and I'm sure that's what people were saying about Bitcoin when it was fucking less
True.
than $1. You know what I mean? Like, and now here we
True.
are, $48,000 Canadian or something like that, 47,000 Canadian or whatever the fuck it's at now. Like,
True.
you just never
Crazy.
know.
Yeah. Well, yo, bro, again, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it because I know I will hit one day because I'm aware of it now. But I'm not joking, bro. It was like 2 Mondays ago. I was supposed to go to the bank and I was supposed to do this whole play, and I didn't. And had I done it, bro, just off that spike, my fucking 2,000 would have been worth 160.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, don't invest more than what you're willing to lose because these markets are very, very volatile. They're up and down in heartbeats. You can lose all your money if you buy on a high and it drops the next day. You could lose everything.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched like the Dave Portnoy from Barstool and shit?
Yeah, man, he's in on this whole GameStop thing.
Anytime he talks about fucking anything to do with stocks, he has like a disclaimer that plays like either at the start or the end of the video.
Oh yeah.
And it's like some guy, I'm pretty sure it's like a famous voice or whatever, but the guy's like, basically what you're saying, like, you know, don't think you're gonna go into this like making money, like it's not a sure thing. Don't fucking like put in money you can't afford to lose and all this and like blah blah blah. And they basically give a disclaimer on the whole thing because it's true though. You watch some of their videos, and you're like, man, like cool, they're talking about making money. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do that too. But by the time they've made their money and told you about it, that stock is now it's not gonna jump as much as it did for them.
But the thing with crypto is you could go about it 2 ways. And I guess you could still lose a bunch of money, but you could go into it as like a long-term investor, which would be like just buy as much fucking Ethereum and as much little pieces of Bitcoin as you can and hold it and come back and revisit the conversation in 10 years or so. Or you could go into it
as a day trader.
Really pay attention and do short trades and like day trade and make quick bucks. And you can do it like bro, like it's like I said, like my first ever trade, like my first ever attempt at a trade. And I know I was lucky, but on my first ever attempt at a trade, I made fucking $600. You know, so it's like I get the idea of it. I'm in the wallet. Like, I know how to buy. I know where to store it. So it's like I'm taking part of it. And the thing, bro, you could make money. Stock is going down too. Like there's ways to make money as it goes up, and there's ways to make money as it comes down. It depends when you're buying and selling.
That's it.
So,
no, like as long as you're selling more than what you bought it for, you're gonna make a profit,
exactly.
right? But if you buy it at a certain amount and then it drops and you sell, then you've lost the difference. So you're automatically gonna lose. But that's only a potential loss if you don't sell and you just hold, and then it boosts back up again in 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, whatever the time frame might be.
Or you could be like me and do 4 or 5 trades going in each different direction as it goes up and down, and while it's still making your money, you still made about $400 or a couple $100, whatever your percentage. The thing is to keep percentages. You want to always be in the blue. You know what I mean?
Right.
Spread your shit out too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It makes perfect sense to me. It's odd to me, or I don't know. Everything's about timing, but I'm surprised I didn't know about this sooner. Because, like I said, if we would have had these conversations even when when COVID started, like you and I, Jonesy, if you would have been like telling me about this, I would have probably been full force with it as I am now. Right. And I would have had heavy gains, you know.
And it was the same with me, man. It was just on a whim. I just read. It was one article. I was just scrolling the internet. I don't even. It was on Facebook or where it was, but I just read one article, and it was talking about Bitcoin and how it would just hit the floor. So I started I followed it for a couple of days, and I'm like, again that's what piqued my interest on hearing these people. So I started looking on YouTube about day traders and people, saying their thing. And they're like, yeah, don't worry. Like back in 2017, there was a huge bull run. It went up to $7,000 or whatever, and then it dipped, and then it went up a little bit, and then it dipped, and then it shot up like crazy during last year. And like I said, it was it was just on a whim. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put $100 into Bitcoin and see what happens. Right, so I bought $100, and a couple weeks later, on my next paycheck, put in another couple, like $100, and another $100.
Smart,
and,
yeah.
You know, until I had invested a total amount of $1,600, and that was my full investment. And on that $1,600, I made over, I basically tripled my money
Nice.
over a period of 2020.
Nice.
And then like I said, I pulled out my initial investment, so I banked that $1,600, put it back in my bank account, and then the profit now is just sitting in my Bit wallet. It's like probably $1,700 or $2,700, just sitting in my Bit wallet. Pure profit that is now just waiting. Like I'm just gonna hold it.
So you're not holding anything right now? No Bitcoin or no Ethereum?
I'm holding both, but like I said, my initial I initially invested $1,600 and
Took that out
and bought Bitcoin. That investment got me almost $4,000, right? And then I pulled out my initial $1,600, so now I have no risk, right? So even if Bitcoin tanks tomorrow and I lose all that money, my initial $1,600 investment is back in my bank account, so I cannot lose money. But right now I'm sitting on it's like $2,700 on the profit that I made on that initial investment. Now that's just sitting there. So
imagine you fucking slap that on Doge just for the fuck of it.
Man, like I'm saying, like that. So Doge,
I'm right now.
Like Doge is something I even learned about because of this whole GameStop Reddit
Oh,
thing.
you just learned about it. You just learned about it.
I didn't know about Doge for a while, and it was only since this GameStop thing.
So you just learned about it yesterday.
Well, a couple days ago. It was actually my wife's. Like she's a big Reddit user, so she's on Reddit all the time, and she's seeing all these memes about like Dogecoin and GameStop and yada yada yada. So she's asking me like, what is this like GameStop meme? I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. So then she tells me about it, and then I do a little bit of digging. I'm like, oh, okay. So like all these Wall Street investors are shorting this stock, and all these Reddit users are saying go and buy the stock to boost the price, so that these Wall Street fat cats lose money. So I'm like, fuck, I'm behind that. So then I started doing a little bit more digging and find out that Dogecoin is a way for these investors to, like I say, because Dogecoin is less than a penny right now. It's super cheap. You can buy it for 0.0 whatever cents per Dogecoin.
Yeah, 6 right now.
Yeah, so it was a way for them to go and invest all like a bunch of like you said, a couple $1,000s into it. And if all of this, like, because I think the Wall Street Bets Reddit.
Fuck, I wish I would have been on that.
Right, so Wall Street Bets. If you on the Wall Street Bets Reddit account, that's where this whole thing started. And basically they said, and there's like 4 million people that are a part of this group, right? So all those millions of people, or however many people were involved in this whole thing, were going to put a bunch of money on Dogecoin. It would rally and it would get a bunch of profit. They would then sell the Dogecoin, take their profits, and then
pump and dump.
And then exactly pump and dump. And then they would go and invest those profits into GameStop to rally that one to beat these hedge fund, Wall Street hedge fund groups, billionaires.
Fuck, I wish I would have known. I wish I would have read that.
It was only through memes and shit that I found out about this, like Dogecoin. I didn't even really know what it was or take it seriously. I was more concerned about Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of the other.
That's how I heard of Doge, just because while I was doing my research on Ethereum and such, Doge kept coming up, and I liked the story. I was just like, made for nothing, really. It was a joke, and fucking it kind of blew up, and a couple people have already been millionaires off of this shit. Bro, imagine you've had fucking 10 bands on that 2 days ago. Oh man.
Yeah. If you invested early and cashed out at the right time, you could make a bank for sure.
Bro, like again, man, that 2000 would have been at its peak. It would have been 160. I don't know. I think around, who knows when I would have sold out though, you know what I mean? Once I started touching like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Like
that's the trick of it, right? It's like a casino, right? You start getting on this roll, you're like, oh, I'm making money, I'm just going to hold. And then all of a sudden it tanks and then you fucking lose all your potential profits. You got to get out at the right time.
The thing is, when I was up to like $1,400, when I went on the live, like when Yardi was asking, I said it. I'm like, yo, if it starts to drop and it gets around the 700 mark, I'm selling. And then sure enough, fucking when I got off the line, it was at like 641 or some shit. I was like, oh wow. And then I just kind of like waited it out for an hour. I went up and down, up and down. And when it got to about 7, I'm like, okay, gone.
Yeah.
I kept a little bit of money in there, but I put the rest on my Bitcoin. So I slapped like $600 on Bitcoin.
Fucking right. And like I say, just keep playing that game, man, because there's a lot of these speculators and a lot of these people saying that Bitcoin could go up to 100K or more, 500K.
Well, they're saying that fucking Ethereum could pass it too, you know?
Yeah. Like there's really no limits to the potential of it, but it all depends on the regulators and shit, right? Too, because like your mainstream markets are only just starting to like there's big banks and shit that are only just starting to accept the
PayPal just started accepting it.
Right. So like it's only just being adopted now, right? So when it does start to get
and there was a Bitcoin there was a Bitcoin ATM in Ottawa in like 2014.
They've been around for a while, yeah.
So what are those exactly? Like, what are those? Do you go to the Bitcoin?
Buy into Apple and fucking Hyundai.
Do you go to a Bitcoin machine to pull out cash from Bitcoin? Or
yes. So if you have a bit, right? So no. So it's usually to pull it out, I think. So if you have a Bit wallet, that you have a QR code, right?
Yeah.
Like it'll have an encrypted QR code for your Bit wallet. I think if you either when you're at one of these, and I've never used one myself, but I think if you scan your QR code, you can withdraw whatever bank or whatever crypto you have in your crypto wallet into physical cash out of this ATM, right? So
I was curious about that.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. Like I said, I've never used one myself, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm not sure you can deposit into them though. I don't know.
It's a new world, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I'm telling you, the future is digital and cashless society. Like that's been a thing like the elites have been working on for a very, very long time.
This is a way to get ahead of them.
Well, it's just a way to get decentralized money. They right now they have control of the Federal Reserve and the Bank of Canada and the International Monetary Fund and the Bank of International Settlements. They have control of all the world's money. And Bitcoin is a decentralized. No one owns that money. It is basically all the computers of the world.
Yeah.
You know, just communicating with each other. No one can shut it down. No one can say we're going to stop this. At this point, it exists, and there's no way to end it. So there's 21 million Bitcoins that potentially going to be mined. I think there's 18 million Bitcoins in circulation right now. And every 4 years,
so buy Bitcoins, motherfuckers.
There's a halving event, and your value is just
real shit.
It's a store of value. It's digital.
I don't want to be sitting here in 10 years and being like, oh fuck, we should have bought Bitcoin 10 years ago, guys. Like even if you could afford to slap a few $100, man, a few thousand, whatever you can. Even now, Jones, you did $100 a paycheck. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna make 10 years, bro. You're gonna be sitting there like, god damn.
I'm telling you, man. Like I said, I made I tripled my money on it. I tripled my money in less than a year.
Fuck, bro. I wish I was talking to you last year about this.
I just did it on a whim, man. And ever since then, B-Show could even tell you every time I'd be at work, I'd be like, yo, my Bitcoin investment. And that's
nice.
Like, I would be telling
Congratulations, man.
Even my mom, I've been trying to tell her, I'm like, she just came into some money because her parents just passed away and she got some, inheritance money and that. I'm like, yo, invest in Bitcoin. But she's of that generation where she doesn't
really. They don't understand, man. It's hard to get people to convert.
And she wanted to give me money to invest on her behalf, but I'm like, I don't feel comfortable investing your money on your behalf. Like I don't want to do that, but I want to teach you how to do it yourself. So here's the means of which to do it, whatever. But she just never took that step.
I know it's hard,
and I wish that she did.
Because I definitely like myself as well, man. I'm not too slick with the computers, so I'm not a kind of guy who surfs the net really type shit. But I really like fucking like making money. But I used to hear about like Bitcoin forever, but it wasn't my thing, you know what I mean? But now that I've spent some time and I learned about it and I actually made a little bit of money like in my first few days of just starting this shit, like yeah, I see the potential and I see the need for it and I see that that's where it's going, man. It's going that way, man.
And it's the blockchain technology behind the cryptocurrencies that is really the true genius behind the
Yeah.
technology, because you can transfer that to anything. Like you can put real assets like oil and gold and yada yada
Yeah.
yada on this ledger and
Yeah.
have it be an open source, thing where everybody can view the
And
transactions.
that's why you need
what's
to
going
invest in
on.
Ethereum, because Ethereum runs that shit.
Right, yeah, exactly. Putting real life assets on the blockchain instead of just using a digital currency. You could trade, like I say, gold, silver, oil, water, fucking food, like whatever it is, you can represent that on the blockchain.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Like I say, buy your digital currencies now, people.
Yeah, do it.
You heard it
I'm gonna
here.
grab a paper. I'll be right back.
Yeah, me too. I gotta hit the old bathroom here, so I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Right on.
Well, any motherfucking way.
Yeah. I'm B Show.
Yeah. Well. So yeah, I know nothing about that.
I don't know a whole
I
lot
felt like I
either.
wasn't able to get in there to say anything, anyways. But
Yeah.
so this is the 4G Audio Podcast.
And that was your informative.
Oh yeah.
Why am I blanking here? That was your information for the day.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, like, I will say it's good to know and shit and like whatever, but it's like for the people that want to know it. You could even do a little segment like that. Like, what's his name does that, Dave Portnoy and shit. But that's another thing too, though, is I wanted to fucking talk about fucking trying to do something like Dave Portnoy's doing. He's like giving money to fucking small businesses and shit that are suffering from this, and like they apply and then like they do a background check and then give them some money, but like people are donating money to them and shit, right? So I was like, I wonder if we could make enough noise and shit to get like a bunch of funds together and start like helping people out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fucking,
That'd be sick. Yeah, Dave Portnoy is a fucking
You know?
G for that.
yeah, man, he's
Sick.
fucking going crazy too, man. Like he's like fucking, I think they have over $2 or something like that right now. And fucking, what did he do? He gave I just watched a video where he was calling people and he's like, hey, is this so and so? And they're like, well, and they'd freak out and he'd be like, yeah. He's like, hey, yeah, well, we'll send you the fucking 20 bands or whatever. And like, so the thing is too, is he's not just giving money away, he's actually looking at the people and seeing like they're actually like have to prove that they need the money and shit. And then they'll give them, he says we'll give them so much and like that'll cover like some of the rent that they're like backed on and shit like that, like they haven't paid and shit, so it'll cover that shit, but then they'll hit them up again in another month to see how they're doing, see if they need any more money,
yeah?
and if so, how much money they need.
Wow.
And he said a lot of the businesses that they're helping out, they're literally only taking like what they really need, and they're not just accepting big checks and shit, because they're like, no, I only really need this much. If anything, take the rest and pay it forward and shit, right? And he's like, that's fucking cool to me, and like, and even to myself, myself, I think that's pretty cool, because you know, like somebody who only needs $9,000 take a $20,000 check, like
Yeah.
and it is kind of
It's
greedy,
pretty
but at the same
greedy.
time, it would help them or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, fucking to pass that other $11,000 on, that's a whole other business they're helping or whatever, right? But I would like to try and do something like that. I mean, I mentioned it before, but I just felt like it'd be like, you know, like you'd get $1,000 over a year, and like, you know, you wouldn't know what to do. Like, how do I to slap in the
Yeah.
face for what some people probably fucking went into debt over this?
No, bro, you
Right.
guys, now that you guys are kind of like more established too, like you could probably take that idea, you know, word it right, write it down on paper or whatever, type it out, whatever the case, and you could probably get grants and in the sense, and then you could really help people. But there's other things too, like not exactly GoFundMe, but like you
That's
can
it.
put up a thing where you have like the community pitch in and help too. Like you make a campaign out of it, man. You do a lot of promo and you fucking you build it with people, and then you're able to help, you know.
That's just it too. Is if we got like other people on the board of that, it would help spread the word, you know. But again, I just feel like there was another thing we were gonna do a fundraiser for too, and I'm like, I just feel like it's like a futile attempt. It's like, you know, like I said, you might get a couple $100, maybe $1,000, but even then, it's like, well, here you go. Like, it's
You'd
not
be
a whole
surprised,
lot,
bro.
but
You'd be surprised, man.
Yo,
then let's
so
do it.
I just want to
Give me
take
all your money.
a quick second to give a shout out to Vontae Poems, Madison C,
Gang,
Rocky
Madison
Promotion,
C,
gang.
Tupac
Vontae
Girls,
Poems,
Queen Supa, Fraser
Super Super
Image,
C.
Timinator Songs, everyone in the comments. Thanks for watching.
What up,
Rocky.
Gang,
motherfucker?
gang. That's sick. Fucking right.
Gang, gang.
It's fucking Grandma's favorite podcast. That's why, man.
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Fuck, man. Water break, boys. Holy shit.
Okay,
Get her in
Shout
here,
out to the
buddy.
basement
all I want to
weirdos.
do right now is just smoke a joint, but I got no papers.
Your
You
grandma's
guys remember
favorite
Body
podcast.
Break
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Al Johnson?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
fucking,
yeah.
what was the other chick's name?
Oh, frig.
Fucking Rita.
Rita or something. I was gonna say that.
No, Al Johnson. Fuck, I don't know, man. I forget.
Fucking
But
some
yeah,
shit. Kelly
Body
Johnson.
Break. Kate Upton.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Oh shit, man. Fuck, Jonesy. Like I said, I swear I left a pack of papers there. There must be
Fuck,
something,
yeah,
but
you
I
can
don't.
see the pain
gonna
in his
look
face
right now.
too.
I'm
He's like
gonna look.
really sad. Go
Yeah.
find those papers, Jonesy.
Fuck.
Fuck, man.
I did misplace one of these last time I was there. Like I remember last time I saw it was there, and
You're
then
bound to
like
find
I
that
left,
Lucy. It's
and
gotta
it's
be one
gone.
little Lucy paper. Look, boom. Come
even
on, you even look before. There you go, baby.
Fucking pound him. I guess
There
that was
you
a
go.
Was it the
Now he's
pack?
smiling. Look at the smile.
Nice,
Like,
yeah,
what's the
man.
difference?
Is it the raw 300s?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. These are big ones too.
Yeah, man. You can have it. I have a bunch of them.
Fucking A.
Gang, gang. What
Yo,
about you, B?
I just got a bunch from the plug.
So I have to. Sorry, I'm just gonna say this first, because Styles, you haven't been here in a minute, and I've been running low on supplies. But there was some in the fridge.
Oh, you got that
Little Easter egg hunt.
Jamaican Pearl.
Is
That
that
Jamaican
was?
Pearl from Green Grass Oasis.
Yeah. Did they donate that, or is that yours?
No, they donated that.
Oh, okay, because I've sort of been using that as my supply.
Yeah, I figured, but even by the time I get to it, it'll probably be dry anyways.
Yeah, it's been in the
Take a
fridge for
picture of a couple nugs and post it.
Okay, I'll do
There
that
you
for
go.
sure. I will
Because
do
I've
that.
been slacking on that. Every time they give me weed, it's gone before I get to take a picture of it.
Okay,
Yo,
I'll make
B
sure
Show.
to do that.
What up, B Show?
Going
Man, you know
on.
what? Actually, so I was thinking of this the other day, and I thought of this earlier whenever we were just earlier in the show. But I haven't really asked you, man. How's your thumb and shit?
My thumbs, well, it's like, you know, I can
Look at that.
do everything with it. It's just I haven't really, like, I can't bend it much more
That's
than
still
that.
there. Still there.
You know, so like that.
No
Whenever
gaming
I'm
for
like,
you,
yeah,
So it's more like a fucking like this
Yeah.
than like this. Oh,
yeah,
dirty.
straight. But I mean,
Well,
it's-
because I know
can
you've been
still
working
get-
lately too, so you've been using
Yeah.
your hands. So I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
thought of that. That's why I thought of it the other day. Is I'm like, oh shit, man, like you really find out how it feels doing that.
Yeah, the cold really like affects it, but as for like my grip strength and my pinch strength with it, it's not bad. I still got like some pinch work to do. Like I couldn't even fucking start a lighter with that thumb, you know?
Oh no.
It's
Not
okay,
even
man.
if I
You still have
wanted.
that motherfucker still attached.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can use, I can pick things up with it and shit. I use it what it's for. So
Bro, you still have a hand with a thumb on it. You're winning now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man. True.
for sure. Fucking right.
Well, but no, like I said, I thought of
Lucky,
that the other day,
lucky.
and then earlier I was thinking too. I'm like, fuck, what better time to ask him than fucking on the show? But yeah,
Podcast, yeah. Yeah. And then, I don't know if he'd even be able to see the scar or anything.
Oh yeah.
Pretty dark, but yeah. Yeah.
you're a gangster though.
Yo, did you guys have the show with CY?
No,
Oh,
Yeah, I was
no,
looking for it.
he never came on.
What a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Okay, because I remember
We got Quest in the
Styles
building.
telling me. I remember Styles telling me about it that I tuned in or I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was our Wednesday episode, but yeah, he didn't show up.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of guests that didn't show up, I'm not going to name names to put him on blast or anything, but our guest didn't show up tonight. I will say he had a valid reason. He's got some shit going on. So I just want everybody to send positive vibes out to homie.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, much love to dude. Fucking got some shit going on. A whole bunch of shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Death in the family and blah, 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 whatever. Not my business to say, but either way, send positive vibes to homie. Please and thank you.
Yeah. Nothing but love.
Sure.
I'm sure he'll come back when he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
hope it's not too serious. But yo, in the meantime, you get to chat with BullyZone, and we've been rapping for like 2 hours now, so
Hey,
still
Yeah,
got a good
it's
fucking
going
show.
good.
Oh, shit, yeah. Fuck, man.
Yo, I like when I
That's what's
fucking
up,
mentioned the crypto, how you guys got all fucking excited, all of you at the same time.
That's been my jam all last year, man. I've been on the crypto train.
Fuck, bro, I wish I would have started talking to you about this back then.
Yeah, even it's only been the last like couple months that I've really gotten a grasp on like the whole market.
Bro,
like I said, I've just been watching fucking daily YouTube live traders like talking about their portfolios and like they're showing
I started subscribing to some
the
of them.
candle charts and like trending lines and shit.
Yeah.
And at first I'm watching it and I'm like, this is all fucking Chinese to me. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but I'm just gonna listen and
It doesn't
watch.
take long to
I'm
figure
just gonna
out.
watch anyways. Yeah, but then the more I watch, I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like it's all
Yeah, it just
like,
clicks.
Yeah, so like if I think a lot of the trading charts that they use, you have to pay to be a member of to get the specific.
You're
Like,
absolutely right.
there's some that you can get for free, but there's like the really detailed ones that these traders are using on YouTube. I think you have to pay for.
You have to pay for the apps.
Yeah, but it's like getting used to like the patterns, right? Because there's market patterns, and then you get like there's like the head and shoulders pattern, like the uptrending, downtrending, and yada yada yada. Like, and it's like shit like this. And I'm like,
and you really have to fucking pay attention to like current events in the stocks and shit like this.
Oh, for sure. Like news.
Stock market.
See, I've been really up into current events like news and like shit like that, politics, money. That's been my game for like a long. I've been really, really, really interested in money and how it really works for a long time. When I really started really looking into fractional reserve lending and what fiat currency is. And like it was the mortgage crisis that happened in 2008 2009, like all this shit like really sparked my interest in money and how it really works. Because most people think the government owns the Canadian money, but it's not. They borrow that money. Like all the money in circulation is literally borrowed from a private you know what I mean? So like we don't even own the fucking money that we're using. Like the government just borrows it all and uses government bonds and real assets like our land and our water and our trees, and shit like of real value, right? They trade this shit for fiat currency that is not backed by gold. It's not backed by any real value of anything. It's like it blows my mind. The more I really learn how the monetary system works, it fucking shocks me that we still allow this shit to happen. Like, I'm fucking blown away. So when I started to learn about decentralized cryptocurrency and how no one owns it, and there's a set supply, so there's no inflation, I'm like, this just seems like the fucking answer to me. Like, this just seems like it makes sense. And it's just waiting, it's just buying it now because eventually it's going to be accepted on the mainstream and en masse, and we're all going to be using this shit. And let's say, for argument's sake, the cryptocurrency takes place, because right now the American dollar has the world, they are the world reserve currency. Now let's say they lose that world reserve currency status and some form of like Bitcoin or some other form of digital currency takes that space. The market cap for cryptocurrency could go up to whatever the market cap of the US dollar is right now, which is like $20 trillion or something like that.
Yeah, it's in the trillions for sure.
So there's no reason as to why, if that happens, that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin or Ethereum couldn't skyrocket to, $1 million per coin.
Yo, did you hear about China and how they're trying to get it so that every Chinese citizen owns a full Bitcoin? Like, yeah, you hear that?
I haven't heard that, but I know that
Crazy.
China right now is on they have digitized their
China and Russia.
Like they're on a digital or on a social credit system where everyone gets
Same with
social
Russia
credit.
Or something, right?
Yeah, it's all digital. Like their facial recognition, like China's on a whole nother level right now. They're one of the fastest growing economies on the planet.
So what I heard is or what I read, is that the Chinese government is trying to get every citizen in China to own at least one Bitcoin. Like they're trying to rally so that it's a thing. Like however it fucking becomes, but it is what it is. And I don't know how they plan to pay for it, but they want, and then that's how they plan to continue to be the richest country in the world once we do go to Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency, because every citizen in the whole fucking country is gonna own a fucking Bitcoin.
Which would be wild because there's like 1.5 billion people in China. But that's the thing, that can't be possible because
maybe it's a certain age gap, like starting now.
Well, see, there's only 21 million Bitcoins total. Like that is the maximum amount of Bitcoins that can be mined. It's 21 million. But each Bitcoin,
maybe it could be like a generational thing.
Each Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million pieces.
Exactly, Satoshis.
Right? Exactly. So Satoshis, exactly. So 21 million times 100 million is potentially how many percentages of a coin you could have. So it's endless, really. So there's no limit on how high the value of one of those could actually go to.
Yeah, man. Super crazy. Super cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to spark this joint because I found these papers.
There you go, big guy. Get it in you.
And I lost all my lighters, too. I can't find any of the lighters. I only have this one big-ass lighter.
Jeez, man. Go to the corner store by your house, buddy. It's got papers and lighters.
That's true. I just ran out of papers last night. But I've just been using this big old lighter right here, but the flame's almost out. I think it's refillable though.
Yeah, man.
Is Style still there?
Hey, man. Styling and profiling.
You lost it.
Yeah. Well,
so,
2 hours.
How's the progress on the Burrow Media studio coming?
Okay, yeah. We're fucking almost there, folks.
Yeah.
We started the painting, so we're at the painting stage.
Nice.
So everything's done. Floors and walls are up. Fucking patched.
Oh, we can't hear Styles. Sorry.
Floors in. Everything's there, man. Literally just paint job, fucking clean up, some decorations, and we're good to go. I think it'll be like ready in like 3 weeks maximum.
Okay. I'm now the host. Styles has left. Styles the prophet has left the building.
It seemed like it looked like he was having issues there for a little bit. I don't know.
I'll re-invite him. He'll jump back in.
There you
go. Yeah, the painting stage, man. That's a good sign.
Yeah, brother.
Last bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. I got so many projects on the works too, man. Like, I got so many features lined up, like fucking actually dope tracks lined up. So I got a lot of projects to finish, and then I got a lot of fucking artists that want to work with us as well. So it's like it's starting to stack up. It's starting to pile up, and we're gonna be fucking super busy once we open.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, hopefully
it looks sick in there.
Really stoked,
man. Down pretty soon, so we can open this shit back up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I looks like fucking Twigs is wrapping shit up there pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, he's at least moving along quick, anyways.
He did it, man. He's fucking doing it, man. The thing with him, man, he likes to take control and do shit by himself, and it's not that he's scared to ask for help, but like he doesn't ask for help, you know. And like there's like we could have been done already if he would have just been like, yo, can you get a few guys together and like have a plan? But he just kind of like likes to go in there with like 1 or 2 guys and just bang it out themselves. Whereas I could just get like 10 guys in there fucking in 5 days and we'd be done by now. You know?
To each their own, I guess.
To each their own,
sometimes you get too many people in there and everybody's fucking, you know, you don't get enough room, and then there's also
over
people
one another.
No, man,
everyone's trying to be fucking right.
Schedule. There's ways around this, boys. Come on, man. Organize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Get a night shift going.
You got these guys in at 8. You got these guys in at fucking 10. You know what I mean? Bam, bam, bam. You got
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's whatever. He's doing it, and it's coming along. But had he asked for some help, I could have arranged things and done a little sooner. But, and again, we're not allowed out. We're not allowed doing anything. So, fuck, there's no real rush anyways.
True.
Yeah, shout out to Twigs anyways.
Yeah, man, it's his pride and joy, man. Let him take his time with it, man.
Fucking right.
Girl media, baby.
Wish him all the fucking success and lucrativity or whatever you call it.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to the grand opening.
I hope he made enough room for me to always be there, fuck.
Yo, bro. You'll see. Did you see the space before we started the build?
Yeah. I saw it partway through, too.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of progress, yeah.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen it through like the stories on IG and shit like that. Like I've seen pictures, but I haven't seen the space like in person yet. So I'm pretty stoked to.
Basically, it was just a fucking square room, you know, and it's a fucking super sick studio.
Fucking right.
Yeah, I can't wait to fucking crush the mic.
Yeah, man, it looks fucking. Looks like a legit setup too. Like he was posted a story or something, or a post or whatever, and it showed like the maps of all the fucking wires and shit and everything going into everything, and this is in and this is out, and these go to this and these go to this. And I was just like, holy fuck, man! Like I get it, you need that, right? Like it's like the fucking
especially for if we hire.
But
when we hire other engineers and shit, like they're gonna need these maps too. They're gonna need to know what every fucking thing on that map is.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, you can tell once, like, you know, especially like you said before, man, the kid does like, he used to do skate parks and shit. And then like with that shit, I'm like, man, this kid's like legit, like a genius.
Oh yeah, he's very meticulous. He's very calculated. He's very intelligent. He's fucking.
He's got the mind of an engineer for sure. Like
he's an engineer.
Not
he's
just
a fucking
music engineer, but an actual like.
Yeah, he's a builder. He's a builder. Yeah, he's an engineer. He's definitely fucking got a beautiful mind. You know?
Good for him.
Yeah, man.
Fucking right.
He's got his whole fucking life to go, you know?
Yeah, he's a young lad.
He's off to a great fucking start.
Fucking right, man. Got his own studio coming
Yeah.
soon.
And we just gotta get enough artists in there and people to
Oh, bro, it's
to
pop. Don't
support
even
it.
worry. I'm not even. It's not even the fucking get enough artists. I'm gonna need enough engineers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I'm still gonna be very on top of it. Like, I own a percentage of this thing too, right? So and I'm actually, whatever. It's got to be lucrative, you know. We're not doing it for the fun of it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna have to be like, it's gonna be work, man.
No doubt.
Anything worth doing usually is.
That's right.
But yeah, man, I'm stoked to see that fucking do big things, because you know you're already doing big things with the fucking the little studio you had going on there. So I mean, having this is gonna be crazy, man.
Well, that's why we built the bigger one, just because the workload was getting like a little too big. And then once fucking V came back from Bulgaria, it's like, fuck, man, we got 2 guys here now. Let's get to work.
Well, if you ever need an engineer, let me know.
We will, bro.
I'll be happy to help. I'll happily work there.
Yeah, no. The thing is, I'm just gonna go off the hop though. I think like there's gonna be like a course, and I know there's gonna be a fee to the course just to learn like all the fucking what we have. Like I can guarantee that. Yeah, bro, we are gonna need. Like I've actually been talking to some people. Like I don't want to like, you know, talk too soon, but like yes, we will need engineers, because just the amount of videos that we need shot is gonna like Twigs can't do everything, and that's what he's gonna have to learn, man. He's gonna have to learn that like, yo, now you gotta start. Share the load, delegate, fucking time manage. Like you're good at fucking managing yourself. Well, now you gotta do it for 3 or 4 other people as well, you know. So I'm gonna help him out, man. Like luckily, like I'm there to help him out, and like fucking, I could take on like that kind of role, but at the same time, fucking like he is gonna have to realize like, yo, I gotta do one or the other. I gotta be out shooting videos, or I gotta be recording, or I gotta be mixing. Like I can't be doing everything.
Right. You stretch yourself too thin, and then
the
quality lacks after that, right?
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
That's right.
Just off of like the couple people that I'm already like thinking about working with on my label, I'm gonna need an engineer just for myself. Like literally, like for myself and the 3 or 4 artists that I'm choosing to work with. Once we get going, like that's how it's going. Like I'm gonna be there once a day. Any artist that I'm working with that's and when I say working with, like I mean like signing to the label or however we have a deal. Like I'm gonna be there. Like they're not gonna be going through the shit alone. Like they're not gonna be like I'm gonna be very hands on with whatever the fucking comes out of my studio. So I'm planning to be like in the studio at least once a fucking day, like one every day of the week. I'm gonna be there with somebody, if not for myself, if for somebody else. So just on that alone, we're gonna need more people helping.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you don't even know. Like we have contracts, like so. Like the Borough Medias, it's like the way we have it. Like Twigs and I kind of teamed up. You know, like I have a percentage of the business, so it's actually Borough Media in association with State Platinum Records is like the legal entity, if you will, or like the public entity. Sorry, but where was it going? Oh, so we already have like contracts with like professionals, bro, that like are not music. Like Twigs, like a lot of the times when he's like this month, that kind of slowed down the build is he's been working with I believe a doctor doing book on tape. Like so he's literally there just recording audio book of this fucking lady who does like she's a doctor who does like motivational speaking.
Man.
And he's been doing it on and off like since Christmas. I actually believe Christmas was day 1 that he started it, or Boxing Day. And he's been putting in like hours. So when he's not been at his day job or at the studio, we've been working with this client. So like the clientele is like it's very broad. And,
yeah, man, I do the same thing. Like my mom's like a meditation, like she does meditations and shit like that. So like the book on tape thing, like she like does audio meditations, and I record that kind of shit like here all the time. So like you're right. Like,
exactly.
It's
so
not just like hip hop people or musicians.
It's bigger than that.
Clientele could be all like voiceovers. It could be, all kinds of different people that are.
We have like some clientele that are like students, and like we have like their teachers that are like they get grants for them or whatever. So like we're like talking to Twigs is like on the phone talking with like teachers or like about like doing projects with their artists or their students. Sorry, you know what I mean? So it's like we can't like it's more than just rap music, and with the new studio and like the application of like the part where we could like have like the acoustics and like the fucking drums and shit. And Twigs's background was prior to like maybe a year or two before he met me, he had a label or still has a label, and he only worked with rock bands, like in rock groups. Or sorry, bands,
Right.
not rock bands, bands. So that's his background. So he's gonna go back to that. So there's gonna be a lot of fucking artists coming in and out of there, whether it be hip hop or fucking bands or just
Rock.
fucking Dr. fucking Susan who wants to do her fucking book on tape,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
That's-
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Like I say, my mom has been doing these like audio guided meditations for a long time.
Okay.
And she records them here, so like maybe I'll send her your way in the future.
He's like, yo, I don't want to do this no more.
No, I
You're
love
weirding me
doing
out.
it, but I think you probably get a better sound.
I don't do it at all, man. So
No,
I'm just
saying,
the
like,
one who
I'll
send that shit to
I'll
Twigs.
send her there.
No, what do you mean? We're hiring you, bro. Like we're sending that right to
All
you
right, cool.
anyways.
I'm in.
No, but I do know that like he has like, so just fair warning, and it's like I'm putting it out there. I do know that like we've already spoke about like a course or like he's putting together like a pamphlet and like a course for whatever engineer who applies to work for us or who we choose to hire, just so they know the whole system and the
Setup.
rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe like the number we were throwing around, and honestly, this is just his calculation, so I'm sure it holds value for whatever reason. He was throwing around like a number like $300 or $400, and I was like, bro, let's just keep it at like 300 because it's kind of up there. So like, unless he changes his mind or sees that maybe it's worth more or less, but right now I know that he wants to charge like a $300 course or whatever for whomever does come to work as an engineer for us.
So did you?
And
Is that like a week long? Like how long is this course? Did you?
I
say that?
honestly don't even really. I didn't really get into like. I honestly don't know. I can't answer.
Just like an
anything.
orientation.
And I honestly don't like. I understand why, but I don't know where he comes up with the number either.
Right.
You know what
No,
I
I'm
mean?
just saying because like it's not cheap. Like I remember like the course that I took for schooling was only 8. It was like a regular school year, like 8 months or whatever, with the summer off or yada yada yada. And yeah, it was like over 10K, right? So I can imagine the course on like if it was like a week long or 2 weeks long or just like like Style said, an orientation on your guys' setup. Like,
Yeah, I don't necessarily know the game plan behind it, but I know there's a fucking price tag with it. That's all I know thus far. And that was like Twigs on his own, like so. Like and this is what he does, man. So there must be a reason behind it,
it makes sense to me.
Cool. This is what you do too. So if you're behind it,
And no,
then
it
it
does.
just
Like,
just
it's just
validated it for me,
It's a form of vetting the person that you're gonna be, trusting to do that kind of work. You gotta know.
Yeah, well, I guess like
man.
you need to know the fucking the supply, the equipment. You know what I mean? Because like it's not like things really upgraded. Like you're not coming to Platinum Tattoos and going in the back no more and fucking there's a little booth. Like things upgraded. Like there's like we have like a fireproof room in there. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like that holds all the wires and the fucking computers and whatever hardware. Like
The utility room.
it's definitely upgraded, and then there's even like a stand that has like all the plug-in things. Like Jonesy is probably more familiar even with once you come in, it'll be a playground for you, Jonesy. You'll be like, whoa.
That's why I'm excited about it. Like
You're gonna see it from a whole other. You're gonna have a whole other. I'm coming in as an artist, or even like Styles.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm more like I'm a fan of the behind the scenes, like the engineering side of everything, right? So
like you're gonna be like a kid in a candy store, like what?
When I went to school and like they taught me on like those those big fucking boards, you know, they're 24
Exactly.
inputs. They're super intimidating. Like I didn't know what the fuck. It all looked like craziness to me. And there's
Yeah,
boards and switches and faders and this, that, and the other. And I didn't know shit about anything when I first started that. But
Yeah,
you know,
man.
like
We got all that. We got all that.
yeah. So it's dope to see that because I know that's no small
Bro, we
feat
have
to
a
get
we
that.
have we have a producer stage in the main studio.
Like the
Like,
little island in the middle.
doesn't that just sound
That's
beautiful? We have a
absolutely.
producer stage in Studio A. Come on, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's wild.
And it just sounds fucking dope.
Yeah.
We might
Yeah,
have
so
to revisit the idea of fucking 4G, fucking renting a little space in there.
when we're gonna have
Sure.
like that open area, the common area, like I guess the media area, which would be perfect. The only thing is it would be like the fucking weed smoking, man. You know?
Yeah.
I know, eh?
I'm sure we
Yeah.
can figure that
Yeah.
out.
You'd have to put up with us smoking all that weed.
But the thing is, it's not me. You know what I mean? It's
No, I
fucking
know.
Twiggy. It's
No,
Twiggy, and I don't think he's as cool. Like, not to say he's a cool motherfucker, but he's not as like he's
no.
not as lenient as I. Like I don't
And
know
I
if he
wouldn't
could even.
expect that either, though. I wouldn't expect that, man. Like,
Unless
I
there's a
wouldn't
way to do it, like unless there's a way to do it, like
Like
I
we've
don't
said,
know.
we could stick to the edibles, maybe. Like that's not like
Yeah.
filling your
Now, or even do
fully
like a
place
quick
full of
statement
smoke.
where you guys are like I don't know, out front getting high first, smoking a joint, and then go in.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's
That's
ways
just
around.
it, yeah, man. Or if we could do like a fucking break in the middle, smoke a
Exactly.
blunt, but we'd have to
Exactly.
like, if we could get like a camera that would wirelessly work, and we could go
Oh,
outside
that would
and
be
fucking
cool.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, that
exactly.
would be a lot of work. But like you said, if we just made a segment of smoking a blunt, fucking beforehand, film that, and then go up, do the podcast live, and then put out the video of us smoking a blunt before the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Where there's a will, there's a way, man. You want to make it happen, baby.
Because yeah, man, we got to move soon.
Yeah, it's that time,
we
eh?
got a time limit coming on here.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah,
What's the time limit?
I think it's like June, but
Yeah,
I mean that's like the very, very latest.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd like to be comfy by fucking end of April.
Should be all right.
But I
man.
mean, don't feel obligated either,
allowed.
man. I'm just throwing it out there because I know that we had visited that idea at some point, put a pin in it
No,
for
it's a great
later,
idea.
and
I'm 100% for it. I hope we can talk Twigs into letting us smoke fucking weed in there. Like shit.
Like I said, I don't think it'd be the end of the world even if we couldn't. If we just stick to the edibles, or maybe like a vape pen or two, or like.
Yeah,
You know what,
exactly.
man?
That's what I mean. There's ways around it, man. There's ways around
it would probably end up fucking. It would probably how do you call it? Like it would probably better the content. You know what I mean? Like
It would. I
instead of
guarantee
being
that.
yeah. I even saw No Jumper the other day. They were talking about two things they were talking about. Is one, they were talking about smoking weed in the podcast, and he's like, you know what, man? He's like, I think it's just like better that we don't. He's like, I feel like the quality is better when we don't. Like the quality of the conversation, right? But then they were talking about drinking on the podcast because his buddy AD does a podcast called At the End of the Day.
Okay.
And it's him and this Yazzie girl, and they'll just sit there, man. Anytime AD is on No Jumper, man, he is sitting there with the bottle of fucking Don Julio, and he is just like shots, and he brings like OT Genesis. Him and OT Genesis are good buddies, right? So they get all fucking hammered, and they're making fun of the one chick's like friend and shit. But my point is what he was talking about. He's like, here's your problem, man. He's like, you were drunk. He's like, oh, all this happened before the podcast. Like, you were making fun of this girl before the podcast. Like, you already made her feel awkward before you were live. And he's like, yeah. He's like, we were drunk, man. We were drunk. He's like, but that's the problem. He's like, it's okay to drink on the podcast or like whatever. He's like, it's okay if like, by the end of the podcast you're drunk or whatever. But like, to be in that shape when you start the podcast, he's like, that was your problem right there,
It's your fucking job. You can't show up to the work drunk.
No, exactly. And so whenever I saw that, I'm like, man, yeah, man, like totally, you know, like I got to take away, like, you know, it's one thing to be like, yeah, let's crack a pint or like whatever, fucking smoke a joint, but like at some point, like not just like getting fucking hazed the whole time, you know,
Yeah, I think
which
we've
I
definitely
do.
we have run into that situation, right, where we've just been going for like a couple hours and just been
Yeah,
smoking
oh my
from
God, even if you're
start to
slow,
finish, and like halfway through, you're like, what were we talking about again? Like, where was this
even
conversation
if you're
going?
fucking,
It definitely
even
affects
if
it.
you're slow sipping and smoking at a moderate pace for 3 hours, you're still about you're lit. You know what I mean? Like
For
even if
sure.
you are being respectable or just slow sipping and smoke 2, 3 joints on one joint, you're still gonna be lit after 3 hours. Like no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be
Absolutely.
back at work.
True though. That's like the other night, man. Fucking Wednesday night, we did like what was it? Just over 2 hours or just under 2 hours?
Yeah,
Just
it's
over.
probably just over 2 hours.
Just over. So it was just over 2 hours. I fucking had a couple drinks with dinner before the podcast. I fucking had a few drinks on the podcast. Fucking took a little break, had a drink, you know. Fucking jumped on at 12 with Yardy, and man, I ended up with him like till like 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning, just like chatting and shit, like whatever. I didn't even realize, man. Like I blinked. By the time I looked at the time, like I said, it was either 3:30 or 4, and I'm thinking in my head, like, man, I'm like, I looked at the time thinking like, oh, how long we been going? Like an hour or so? I'm like, holy shit, no, man. Like, we went for a bit. But point is because I was fucking slowly drinking throughout the night, and I just ended up getting fucking like hammered, man.
Yo, bro, you already fucking fell asleep on his live.
No way.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 days before you. Like yeah, like 2 or 3 days before you. He went live, like, because Instagram will let you go live for 4 hours. So he went for the full 4 hours and then came back into the live. But he has a lot of homies and shit from the West Coast, so they're 3 hours behind. So it's only like 2 in the morning to them when it's like whatever, 5 to him. So, anyways, he fell asleep like on live while he was talking like live with somebody.
That's hilarious.
No, man, that's something I do, man. I've fallen asleep fucking playing video games, man. Or like, man, I've even fallen asleep driving my car.
Yeah, I fall asleep
I've,
driving
I've,
all the time.
That's
So,
I've never done that.
I've,
That's dangerous shit.
I've
oh my
fallen
God, it's
asleep
the worst.
playing video games. I scored a fucking touchdown playing fucking football against my buddy, and it was like my first time playing a football game in like fucking like 10 years or more. Like I played like a Super Nintendo game whenever I was a kid, and then I play this with him. It's like PlayStation 2 or some shit, and I fucking ended up like torching him. And at one point, he looks over at me, and I hear like cheering and shit. And he fucking looks over at me. He's like, "Man, were you fucking sleeping?" I'm like, "No," because I'm trying to deny that I was sleeping, right? And he's like, "Man," he's like, "You just scored a touchdown and you were asleep." And I woke up and looked around. I'm like, "Holy fuck, cool, yeah, man."
All I do is
But
win.
that would be me, man. Like go on live and just be like, "Yeah, anyways, yeah."
That's hilarious. I've definitely fallen asleep playing video games before. That has happened.
My one buddy said he'll play with this guy. He'll play with this guy, and they'll be up, till like fucking 3 or 4 in the morning playing, and they'll be talking like this, but they can't see each other, right? They're just playing the game and they're talking whatever, and then buddy will just go silent. He's like, "Hey, hey." Hey, like, man, wake up. And sometimes he'll wake up because he's got the headphones on, but other times he passes out so hard that he can't wake him up, and it ends up like, you gotta like okay to get into the match or whatever, so then like
Yeah.
he just wouldn't be able to play with him and shit. But yeah, no, I think what it is with the car, though, I mentioned this before too, though, is with the car, whenever I was a kid, man, I just always fall asleep in the car. So I think like if I get tired enough and I'm driving and I just feel that rumble of the motor or whatever, and I just get this, man.
All the time, man. It's so dangerous, bro. I hate driving long because I fall asleep. Especially man, and it doesn't even take much, man. And I'm not even tired, bro. If the street hypnotized me or some shit, or staring at the tail lights. If I'm behind somebody and I'm just staring at say it's dark, and I'm just staring at red tail lights, I'm fucking hypnotized. I'm going to sleep, man.
The TV does that to me.
You know how people say like Like people ask me, "Oh, you ever like realize you're dreaming and you wake yourself up?" And like
Yeah.
I don't really know like that I'm dreaming or whatever. Anyways, point is the only time that's ever happened to me is whenever I'm driving a vehicle. Is I'll fucking be driving down the highway, just cruising, whatever, and all of a sudden I'll be like sitting on a boat, like in the water, and like I'm chilling with you three guys, and then I'm like, wait, wasn't I just driving my car? Wake up, and I'll wake up and be like, fuck, and like that's the only time I can realize and wake myself up is when I'm like, wait, wasn't I just driving and it was winter or something like that? And then I just fucking, I'll wake up and be like, man, I had to snap myself out of that dream. Like,
Fuck, not me, man. I start hitting the road, strip or the fucking side of the road, and that's when I wake up and I'm scared to shit. Fucking have a heart attack, and then boom, I fall asleep 2 seconds right after. I got my head out the window. Could be winter time. I got the windows wide open. I got the music blasting. I got the music off. I got the fucking heat on, off. I got the windows open. No matter what, bro, I'm falling asleep. Yo, and it's bad, bro, because I didn't like when I used to take my kids on the weekend when they were younger. I lived far with them, like, or where I would take them. And fuck, bro, I would fall asleep with my kids in the car. And even now, like, my kids know that about me. They're like, yo, like, you're fucking crazy, you fall asleep in the car. And now it's like my kids are older. And just last Christmas, man, I was driving with my son coming back from my fucking parents. And in a conversation with my kid about falling asleep in the car, I fell asleep in the car. Yes.
No way.
And then my kid was just like, "Yo, did you just fall asleep?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like literally, man. Like, and we were talking about me falling asleep in the car, and I fucking fell asleep. Like, yeah, obviously it's the weed, man. We smoke a lot of weed, and maybe true, man. Like, I don't know, maybe my mom and dad, I don't really have memories of that shit, but maybe they drove me around in the car when I was a kid and put me to sleep or some shit or something. Like, I don't fucking know. But man, I passed the fuck out. And passengers, I get mad at them because I'm like, yo, like, fuck, you don't see me sleeping? Like, wake me up, man. And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, you're sleeping? I'm like, yo, I'm fucking sleeping. They're like, well, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, talk to me, do something.
Control of that.
Yeah.
fuck, I used to go on like tour with my buddy. We go on like fucking tube tour or whatever. Smoke some weed and shit. So I'd be in the passenger seat, fucking cruising along, fucking smoke a joint or whatever, right? And we'd end up going for like some big ass tour late at night all around the valley and shit. And fucking about the fucking third joint or so, I'd light up a joint, man. I'd go like this, I'd smoke the joint, I'd pass him the joint, pass out, and like he would just offer me the joint. He wouldn't even look at me. He just offered me the joint. I'd wake up, grab the joint, smoke it, pass it back to him, and pass out. But like I know what's happening, but he doesn't. And then he'd catch me and be like, "Man, are you fucking falling asleep?" Because he'd be talking, smoking the joint, and then look over like, "Man, are you asleep?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How are you getting the joint from me?" I'm like, "I swear to God, I like wake up, man."
Yo,
That's
the
like
fucked
your
up thing
sixth
about that,
sense.
bro. Yo, if I'm in the passenger and we're driving, there's no fucking way in hell I could fall asleep. I'm too busy watching the road. I'm too busy like watching you driving, like too busy. You know what I mean? Like there's no way I could fall asleep. I'm not comfortable. I feel like if I close my eyes, I'm gonna get into an accident. But when I'm behind the wheel, I pass the fuck out. Like it's fucked up. It's fucked. It's dangerous though. It's fucking dangerous, man.
But even me,
Yeah,
like I said,
BullyZone at nighttime.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm not even playing it. Like, it's true. It's true. I actually I hate doing long trips unless I have like another driver. Real shit. And like I get mad like real shit, man. Like fuck if people don't talk to me or some shit or like I'm like yo like I just start losing it because I know like we're gonna die. Like I have to either stop the car. I have to get some fresh air. We have to stop. I need to talk. I need to do something and get back in it. But man, once I'm at it for like 30, 40, and it doesn't take much, man. 30, 40 minutes, I'm back sleeping, man. It's actually super bad.
man, I'll take a nap sometimes on the way home from the city, and like it's only like 40, 50 minutes to get home. But like I'll just be like this, like, and I'll be like, fuck it, man, I'm pulling over. I'm going to sleep.
But that's the fucked up
At
thing with
least
me,
you have
man.
the
Like, and
sense to do that, though.
I have tried that though. Like, that's the weirdest thing about it all, man. I'll do that. I'll be like, okay, yo, it's too much. Like, I gotta pull over and fucking nap. And like, I'll try that, and then my body wakes up like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? And it's just the comfort of like chilling and driving that just puts me to sleep.
Yeah. You gotta pull
It's not that
over and like jump out of the car and like fucking like run around the car like 5 times and then jump back in and like
That's what I do.
I'm awake.
I do that. Like, it's a real problem. Like, unless you have the problem, you don't know. But yes, I've totally done that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll get out of the car, fucking start like fucking doing jumping jacks, bro. Like,
Just something to get
it,
that blood flowing.
bro, it doesn't work. As soon as I start cruising and chilling, and it's usually when it's more like a straight road. If it's like turns and shit, like I'm up, I'm aware, I'm alert. But once it's like a straight long stretch, good night, buddy. Good night, buddy.
Man, same for me. But even too, though, it's like I have like I said, whenever I start to dream, it's like I have a sense to wake myself up. But even if I don't dream and I feel my like hand like fade over a little bit, I'll wake up and be like, oh shit, like I know what's going on.
Shit out of yourself.
Man, I told this story a couple weeks back. We had Dan Wild on the podcast and we were talking about this shit. And man, one time, you know, like March Road, like if you're driving west, you go past Canada and shit, and you hit the March Road that goes across the highway, and there's like the exit or whatever. I'm fucking driving, and that's usually where I pull over to fucking sleep because I'll get to that point and I'm like, it's over, I'm going to bed. And I'm driving, and like I didn't notice it, but I was like nodding and shit, right? Next thing I know, I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm driving the car and shit. And I look, man, I'm like, where am I? I was just on the highway, man. I had like veered off and taken that exit.
Whoa.
And so I pulled over because I was looking at the stop sign, right? I'm like, holy shit. So I stopped, I pulled over and checked my car because I thought maybe I like bounced off the guardrails or some shit.
Yeah.
But nothing, like everything was fine. But still, yeah, man, I guess I happened to veer off at the right time and fucking hit that. Yeah, man. So I pulled over and fucking went to bed, man.
But then you can actually sleep, like you go to sleep, like for how long?
Just sometimes if I'm on like a time limit or something, I'll set my alarm for a couple hours or something like that.
So you can
like
sleep on the side of the road for a
Bro,
couple hours.
I remember you telling the story about some dude
I
like
couldn't do
knocking
that.
on your fucking window at a stop sign because you'd fallen asleep at a stop sign or some shit like that.
Oh, dude, yeah, okay. Oh, you want to talk about falling asleep in your car? So I fucking was driving. I'll kind of spare some of the details because I told this the couple weeks ago too. But so I was in Tyndonega, which is right near like Belleville. It's like the native reserve there. And we were there for like a big fucking, it was like, man, it was a dab contest. Like I was a judge for a dab contest. So we were like smoking all these dabs and shit and fucking whatever. And it was like an event where everyone like was selling weed and shit. It's like, you'd have like vendors and shit all around, but they're all selling like fucking different types of extracts and whatever. Anyways, so I go to that and I at some point at night they announce like, hey, careful, because when you leave this reserve there's one road, it goes either way, and then it goes to like bigger highways, right? It goes south and north, right?
Yeah, but
So I gotta go north from where I'm coming from. But he's like, yeah, big announcement, there's roadblocks on either end of this road, right? I'm like, okay, I need to either like wait it out a few hours or find a way around this. So I found a way around it. If you drive towards the 401 where this roadblock was, there's a road that goes to the right. You go to the right, and when you hit the next road, you turn left, and that road literally goes straight. Like I drive on that road all the way from fucking Tyndonega and turn left, and I'm at my house. Like it's like it goes right by my house. So I'm like, okay, I'll turn right up here and I'll go to this road and I'll go home, right? Fucking, I needed some gas too. That's the other thing. I needed gas, and the reserve was just closing. Like I pulled up and the guy was like, no, we're closed, right? So I'm like, okay, I need gas. I'll go on the fucking 41, which goes right to Caladar, and then goes, like I said, it goes right past my house, man. And so yeah, I'll take this way. So I go down the road. I find the 29, I think it was. So I turn right. I come up to another stop sign, but I'm tired and I'm fucking kind of doing this. And I come up to a stop sign. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to turn right. So I turned right and started driving south now. So I'm driving away from like where I gotta go, but I don't know because I'm fucking stoned, right? So then I start realizing, like, man, I should be hitting the 401 by now, right? So I look on my maps. I'm like, oh shit, I went the wrong way. I'm like, I turned right twice, you know? And so I turn back. I start driving down the road. I'm like, okay, all I need to know is that I stay on this road literally until I get to my house and I turn to my house. So I keep driving. Next thing I know, man, fucking, I don't know if you can hear this, but I hear this on my fucking window. And I'm like, same thing. Remember I said earlier, you know, I start to have a dream and I realize, oh shit, I was just driving my car. Well, I hear that knock on the window and I'm like, wait, I was just driving my car. If someone's knocking on my window, that means something bad just happened, right? So this was like a split second decision. So he knocks on the window and I wake up and I'm like, because I'm fucking scared. I'm thinking I just rolled my car and somebody's trying to save my life, you know? So I'm like, he jumps back from the door like, oh shit, it's okay. And I turn and I look at this dude. I'm sitting right on the fucking road. I'm sitting at a stop sign and this guy knocked on the window. So I roll the window down. I'm like, hey man, sorry. Yeah. I don't want him to call the cops either, right? So I'm like, dude, I'm just driving really far. I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm going to pull over and have a nap, like whatever. He's like, yeah, no. He's like, I just pulled over to make sure you're okay. He's like, because when you look down the road I was sitting on, you could see like a little town that way. And he's like, when I drove by, he's like, I was going into town and you were sitting here. He's like, when I came back, he's like, you were still sitting here. So he's like, I had to stop and see if you're okay. So I had pulled up to a stop sign and sat there with my foot on the brake in fucking drive and fell asleep.
Man, I was 10 or 15 minutes or more.
Good thing you got a heavy helmet.
That's the thing. Who knows how long I was fucking sitting there, man. Yeah, I probably fucking was just about asleep pulling up to a stop sign, stopped at the stop sign and just fucking went like this.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. That's dangerous, man.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man. I mean, fucking, again, I told this story too a couple weeks ago, but I woke up in my car. I heard a horn honking. And I'm like, why do I hear a horn honking? And I wake up and I'm like, why am I sleeping in my car? And I look around and I'm on the wrong side of the road with a car coming at me honking their horn. So it happened so quick that I didn't have time to react. I just went, oh shit, it's over. Like, this is it. This is the end of it, right? And they fucking swerved and went around me. And it shocked me so bad that the next car coming was like honking their horn too, because I just went, it's over. Like, you know, Jesus, take the wheel, it's over. And it shocked me so bad that I just kept going. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I went like this, like, fucking got out of the way. But I ended up getting pulled over, and the cops gave me a breathalyzer and a bunch of shit, searched the car and everything. But
well, yo, let's hope they don't watch this podcast because we're both going to lose our license.
No doubt. That's a wild
my buddy said, he's like, man, he's like, you have to have narcolepsy or something, man. He's had videos of me. I'm like passed out on the couch. There's like I won't say like a party. There's like 8 to 10 people around. The music's blaring. Everyone's like wilding out in the fucking living room in this house, and I am passed the fuck out on this fucking couch and shit, and like probably didn't even get enough time to like get drunk enough to like pass out. Like I just like fell asleep, you know what I mean? And they were like throwing shit at me, like videotaping me, like where they'd like crank the music up and like move the speakers near me, and they're like throwing bottles and shit at me, and I am fucking like basically like dead asleep, man. Like,
yo, I have a tattoo customer who has narcolepsy. He legit has it, like diagnosed with it. Like he fucking literally falls asleep everywhere, and he falls asleep while I tattoo him every single time, like more than once. And he'll fall to sleep, and then like when he wakes up, he jumps and he jerks, and like, bro, I'm tattooing him. Like, so I've learned to deal with him. And honestly, I haven't really fucked up any tattoos, to be perfectly fucking honest. But the first time or so, when you're dealing with it, you're like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I'm fucking tattooing you, you know? And then like, and then when they tell you, You know, it's like it's hard to believe. Like I'm fucking stabbing you, bro. Like how are you falling asleep? But they do. And even like when he would come to the tattoo parlor, say I was like still tattooing if he showed up early or whatever, I was running behind or I'm still tattooing, he would just go down in his car just and fall asleep and I would have to go down, wake him up, like knock on the window of the car, tell him to come up, and then he would pass out a few times throughout the tattoo and wake up jumping. Like every single time he wakes up, he jumps. So it's a quite fun time with that guy. And he gets lots of tattoos, the guy. Fuck, he's putting in work, so I do with him a lot.
That's like, did he not tell you that he was had narcolepsy before? Did you find out by him falling asleep halfway, or did you know that prior?
No, and the thing too. So like, I know him a little better than that because he's actually like my cousin's like boyfriend or something like this.
Right.
So I knew of it, like, but to hear it and to see it is two different things, man. You know what I mean? Like,
I just like
he'll fall to sleep at, like snoring. You know, like right away, like snoring. And then I'm in the apartment, bro. There's other people in there too, you know. And he falls asleep snoring his way, and then like, and usually he's out. And but the thing is, now I know because like I've been through it with him. So he only goes out for like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? And like in an hour and a half or 2 hour tattoo, you're gonna lose him a good 5-6 times. You know, like, and he just like
that's wild.
He just shakes it off and he'll giggle now and like we just know. And I just anticipate it and I fucking know. I can time it now, you know.
I could not imagine that.
Yo,
I don't think I could fall asleep.
Man.
I don't think I could fall asleep during a tattoo. But like, I mean, if I lay down somewhere for a little bit and like kind of relax, man, I could fucking be out.
Oh man, that's what I said earlier. Movies do it to me. Like, if I get comfortable on the couch and I turn the TV on, like 2 minutes, I could be like right into what I'm watching, and all of a sudden I'm out.
Dude, I have like so.
Same here.
As if I pass out on it.
I've had this problem like many other times with many other people, but this one girl that I dated, I'm telling you, man, every fucking single movie we watched over like 2 fucking years, I did not see like the last half an hour or more of every fucking movie because we'd roll up and we'd get like candy and shit and like whatever and we get all comfortable and like she also had this big couch. It had like a wide fucking like it was like set back, you know, so we could both like kind of like lay in there and shit. So we'd like fucking turn the movie on and like eat some munchies and shit and whatever, and I'd just be like fucking sleeping and like I'd be talking to people about the movies, be like, yeah, fuck, I saw that movie. She'd be like, how does it end? I'm like, I fucking forget, but there's some good parts in it.
I could definitely relate to that.
That's the only way I can fall asleep on my couch. If I watch a TV or whatever, I pass the fuck out. I can actually sleep on the couch. If I'm like, fucking, if it's too hot in the bedroom or some dumb shit like that or whatever, and I'm like, yo, I want to sleep on the couch, and I try to go sleep on the couch, I can't sleep on the fucking couch. And I can't fall asleep on the couch. It's super weird like that.
You just have to
but
watch
I can pass out on the couch, but I can't go to sleep on it. It's weird.
My buddy used to always have a fan, and like it wasn't like blowing on him like all the time. Like sometimes it was just facing the other way, just for the noise.
Man, I have an app on my phone. It's a white noise app, and it does like air conditioner, fan, raindrops, like.
But you know what though?
Shit.
You know what's actually really good?
Every night.
You know what's really good, and I do this. I don't know if it's helping or anything, but so the reason why this is a good thing, and it's all a big explanation, but when you're the first like 7-8 years of your life, you're like you remember everything and you could instantly like repeat it, you know what I mean? And it's like you're kind of like in your subconscious or something like that, as like whenever you're like a kid, and then after like 7 or 8 you start to live in your conscious, and then when you sleep you actually like go back to that like your subconscious as a child type thing, and you retain information better. And so a lot of like what you know and how you make decisions and what you do as an adult are made up of what you learn as like between fucking 0 and 7 or 8 or whatever. And so now what they say is because you retain the information better when you're asleep or when you're fucking 7 years old or whatever, it's good to, you know how people listen to like quit smoking like fucking hypnotizing fucking tapes and shit at night.
Right.
That's actually good. Like that. So I listen to like videos about like interviewing, like how to ask questions or like things about like life and shit, and I'll put my fucking headphones in, turn it on, and fall asleep. And like I said, I don't think it's like fucking working or anything, but they say apparently you retain the information better when you're sleeping.
Yo, you know what I do? I do that with. I do that with like audiobooks, and I do that with like I do that with The Secret. You know, I'll play that shit.
Oh yeah.
A year of my life, sometimes 6 months of my life. I haven't done it in a while, but I'll do it over and over. Like I've done it probably 5 or 6 times in my life, where I'll play that every night, or I play you know, The Science of Getting Rich, or certain books on tape about like money and making money, and I play that. Like I'll play a whole book on tape before I go to bed, and it's playing while I'm sleeping. And I do that often, man.
It stays in there, like in the subconscious.
It's like I think like, I mean, I'm saying this myself. This is kind of like my own theory, is that it's like RAM over like hard drive memory space. You know what I mean? Whereas like in the first 7 or 8 years of your life, you're like, what's that?
I'm not familiar with those terms.
So like in a computer, you have like so much RAM, and then you have so much like actual like memory on your hard drive, and that's where you save your files, is in the memory.
Okay.
But the RAM is how much your computer can process at once. Like how many screens you can have open and how many things you can have running.
Okay.
So your RAM is like your short-term memory of like what's going on right now, and then you're like
random access memory.
Yeah.
Stands for.
And so what happens when your computer slows down is it's because you have so much stuff open that you're now using your fucking hard drive memory as your RAM, so it has to go to your hard drive and then go to your screen, so everything slows down. But point is I feel like that's like a good analogy for it, is because for the first 7 years you can, for anything that you take in, you can repeat that back or whatever, right? Like you might not understand it, but you know what was said or whatever. But then now, like I said, when you're sleeping, apparently you're in that same like mindset, so you can take that information in. So it's almost like you're like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I lost myself there.
So you're retaining the information through your subconscious. Like.
Yeah, so like when you're sleeping, you're more like, I want to say susceptible, but not susceptible. It's just like you're more able to.
So you can obtain the information.
Yeah, you can like, what do you call it? Like retain the information.
Retain, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like take it in and keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do that with like I said, man, like book on tape. And I did that a few times with The Secret, and I did that like enough times with like things like Poor Dad, Rich Dad, and fucking again, The Science to Getting Rich is one I listen to a lot. Even like The Alchemist, I listen to that on tape.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have you seen the movie The Secret?
Is it just like
it's
the
like
book on?
It's a documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the same as the book, but it's saying all the same shit. It's just, I personally like I haven't read the book, so I can't really say, but I'm more of like a visual dude. I'd rather hear it in an hour and a half than read it over fucking 3 weeks or whatever.
Well, I had read the book, and then I fucking came across the audio book, which is the exact same thing, but I took it because I just wanted to fucking listen to it more and more, you know. There's lots of chapters in that shit, so
Oh, it's so sick. I don't think you guys have you guys seen it, Jonesy B Show?
Oh yeah, I saw it years.
No,
years ago.
I haven't.
I have it on DVD. Fucking, I'll give it to you, man. Fucking.
It's the same.
Yeah,
like,
I'd watch
like
it.
there was.
But
So
yeah,
I
I
was
have it on
introduced
DVD
that,
too.
and like Zeitgeist was another one that was like going around at the same time. Have you guys seen the Zeitgeist documentary? So it was like there was a whole group of like documentaries that I was introduced to it all at the same time at around like 2006, 2007 time. Yeah, and it was basically The Secret and the Zeitgeist sort of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, different topics, but they were at the same time for sure.
Yeah. I'm just saying like that. I was introduced to those like that sort of mindset or that mode of thinking. Like when I was in my like digging into like conspiracy shit, that whole secret thing was like something I was like really interested in. I'm like, oh, okay, I can like manifest my reality just by thinking about positive things or like yada yada yada. Like it resonated
unreal
with me at that time.
It's unreal how legit The Secret is, and the thing is it's a lot of people are like, if you've seen it, whatever. People who have seen it will like. So I'll tell people about it, and they'll come back on me and be like, "Oh, whatever, that's bullshit," right? And then even some people who watch it are like, still like, "Oh, that's bullshit," whatever. But I think it's 100% real. It's just that, like,
it has to, bro.
It's just that it's all in you, right? It's like people always say, and this is
really, there's no real science behind it.
It's so cliche, but people always say you can do whatever you want, or you can be whatever you want, or whatever, right? But it's 100% true. It's all about what you put 100%. Into it. You don't just think about it and it comes. You still have to put the work in. It's just that you manifest it into a thing by creating the idea process. And then doing it. Yeah.
Jonesy wanted to be an engineer. He engineers. You guys want a podcast. You fucking have a podcast. I wanted to be a fucking tattoo artist. I have a
think about positive thoughts and like hopefully they happen. Like you're right. It's a mindset. You have to have a positive mindset, but you have to.
And then there's a plan.
You have to put the action in, right? And that's the key. That's the key to The Secret is putting the action into the mindset. If you can't just sit and think about, I want, and that's one thing that I saw on this documentary is like some dude talking about collecting checks. He envisioned having checks written in his name for some amount of money. And then after a certain amount of time, I think he was an author and he was writing a book or something, and all of a sudden this book got
Jim
picked
Carrey
up.
did it too.
And then
he wanted to sell his book for $1 million or something.
Yeah, he wrote himself a $10 million check or whatever, and then he got.
But the author dude, he was like, I want to sell my book for.
Oh right.
$1 million or like get the like publishing or whatever for $1 million, and within a year he got it, but he did the work to get it.
Exactly right. He has to put the work in.
It's not gonna come. You can't wish.
You can't just have happy thoughts and hope for the best. You got to put the action in behind those.
But see, I've told this story on the podcast before too. Is like, I have a bunch of different little stories, but like one of them is like, remember the time I was talking about how I fucking, I went to like, I don't know, like Harvey's or something or whatever, and I think it was Harvey's because you get to pick what you want on your burger, right? So I go through the drive-thru and they're like, what do you want on your burger? I'm like, oh, this, that, and the other. But in my head, I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, I got 2 burgers, right? And one of them, I didn't get hot sauce on, but I was like, I should have hot peppers. I'm like, I should have got hot peppers on it. Like, whatever. So I drove up, got the fucking burgers, fucking ate them. I'm like, this burger has hot peppers on it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
So, like, even little things like that, man.
Little things, big things, that happens all the time, man.
We got Chris Vezina, I think I'm saying that right. Vesna. Oh, there's an I.
Chris
there's an I in there.
Yeah, but it's like you know the term Benza?
I don't know. Well, my apologies. He's in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Just saying what up.
It's not your fault, man. You're just reading it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely an I, but you almost don't pronounce it.
Oh,
like,
yo,
now I know.
Yo, guys, my phone is dying, man. I think that's it for me.
All right, man.
We're almost going 3 hours here. I think.
Yeah, we can wrap this up pretty soon here.
Okay. I got 5%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, speaking of rap and 5%, you got any bars real quick or what?
No, man, I got music coming soon, man. You know that.
Yeah.
I got tunes coming soon, man. I got so much music coming soon, man. Next month I got a solo track with a video coming called No More. It was actually the second track I done in my studio. And then I got fucking that feature with fucking Yardy and Prada West, which is like gonna be a big tune. I just did a joint with fucking that Dirty Laundry like we were talking about earlier. That's gonna be a fucking bop. And then I have like 4 or 5 other ones that are singles that are just sitting in the vault. And I have about like 5 other fucking features, including like Flonka Boy. And then I got fucking Spitting Image, fucking Goon. Like, I got all sorts of features, man. Like, I got so much. And a lot of the projects are almost like half done and shit like that. It's just I got to get in there and finish it now. But I have half of the shit already written down. Like I literally just got to get in the booth and finish the fucking projects, you know? So there's going to be a lot of music coming from me, man, this year. Last year, I only released fucking 4 projects. 2 of them were fucking features.
But man, you were putting on for the city still, though.
Yeah, I kept busy. I keep active with the music scene. So that's like, it's not as much, it's quality over quantity in some senses too, you know what I mean? And again, man, the more people you work with, the more people fuck with you, I guess, and like your name gets a buzz just as much, you know. So just creating a buzz right now.
You scared the shit out of me. I almost just pissed my pants. Fuck, my dad just fucking hit the fucking back of my car. I almost fucking shit.
Until you pass the joint or what? Pass that, bro. Can't see his dark, man.
Oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Holy shit, man, that scared the shit right out of me.
I was gonna say let's get that Jonesy BullyZone feature. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No joke.
I'm trying to cop a pair of those fucking Flanker Boy shoes, man.
Yeah, man, hit them up, man.
Nobody will do custom sizes. He says he'll do custom sizes for me. Let's go.
Perfect. Yo, we should do like a 4G audio BullyZone fucking track.
Let's do it. All 3. Let's do it. All 4.
Let's do it.
I'm down, man. Seriously, let's go.
I'll get working on the beat tomorrow.
Okay. Do it up, man.
I will. I'll make the beat tomorrow, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's on. Fucking right. I'm down, man. Yeah. Yeah, I've been even thinking, man, I want to try and fucking do a little more music and shit. Like, I totally put it on hold with all this fucking podcast shit. Focus more on this.
Podcast got you an audience, though, bro. So it was smart, you know, because now you have an audience and a fan base. So and an outlet to put your music, you know. So it's actually it was all part of the process, man. So that's actually super good that you did this first, because now you actually have eyes on you, you know, and now when you put out music, you have fans, you know. You already have fans.
You got a platform. That's it.
Yeah. All of you. It's like even real shit. If you guys were to drop even a fucking EP with 4 tracks of you guys, it would probably blow up. And the thing too, if you guys were to register to whatever the fuck you're supposed to register, if you were to play the tracks, even
no, he's out.
He knew it too.
That was hilarious. He's like, oh, and then cut out.
I thought that was one of you guys saying, oh, and I'm like, how'd they know? And they're like, no, it must have been him. Oh, that sucks because fucking he was going on something there, or he was on a good point there.
But we'll have to just shoot him a message and be like, yo, it's all good. But I guess that's our sign to shut her down.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, for sure.
We should fucking definitely try and do some more music over the next year and shit. I totally missed my chance to use the 2020 vision line. I feel like no one really. There was a couple people jumped on the 2020 vision before 2020, and then like I feel like no one really did it because everyone was like, well, like we got other shit to worry about. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I agree though.
just real quick too, it's funny that he mentioned doing a song with us, because even myself, I was like, you know what, man, like he's been posting shit, and like I've seen how he's been working with different artists. I'm like, you know what, man, I'm like, I should see if he wants to do a song together, you know?
Hell yeah.
I think I mentioned it last time I saw him. We were at the studio, and I was like, yo, I want to get the BullyZone feature. So I just thought I'd throw that out there again this time.
Yeah, fucking right, man. Yeah, and if we got the beat from you, then it's fucking everything's tickety boo.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll throw something together.
Remember that. I'll try and write that into the fucking verse.
Tickety boo.
No, we got the beat from you. Everything's tickety boo.
Write that shit down right now.
Yeah, that's sick.
I was in a hotel one time. Whenever I think of lost bars, I think of this, because this is one bar that I remembered for the longest time. But we were in a hotel fucking whenever I was working in Barrie, and we were like all partying and shit. And so me and Buddy were going out for the night, and we went to the other hotel room. We're like, hey boys, like, you guys want to come out? And they're like, no. And some of them are sleeping, and some of them are like kind of like having a couple beers, but probably going to bed and shit. So like, yeah, you guys want to come out? It's like, no. So we hung out for a little bit. We bugged the guys that were still asleep and shit. And whenever I left, I'm like, all right, we're out of here. Peace out to everybody that's still awake. And I turned and looked in the microwave and checked my hair. And as I checked my hair in the microwave, and I was like, oh shit.
You're a poet and you didn't know it.
Fuck yeah. But any motherfucking way, might as well wrap this shit up. Thanks for tuning in. Go check out 4gaudiopodcast.com, 4G Audio Podcast on Facebook, Instagram. Also, real quick, while I have your attention, send me your music to 4gaudio613@gmail.com. I'm going to try and start doing a stream where I play your music, and we can swag out. I'll fucking read your comments and make fun of you and shit. Also, go check out our sponsors, Greengrass Oasis, Pickwacknagon, Tyndonega, Shannonville. Also, ggoasis.ca. I'm fucking killing it, boys. Gang, gang. I'm Styles the Prophet, baby.
I'm B Show.
And I'm Jonesy.
And this is the 4G Audio Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us, gang, gang. Also, shout out to BullyZone. Thanks for fucking coming through. Fucking, he pulled up last minute. That's so sick. But yeah, happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Everybody be safe. Peace out.
Go subscribe.
Yeah, catch y'all on the next one.
Peace.
Yeah, hit the red button, baby.
And we're out.